You don't get this on the back chat, do you, Phil?
We're falling off our perch.
You don't get this on the back chat. Apologies to the people watching that we've fallen over.
I think the
Blame Mark, he's not here and he's got the other shape on.
well, I think we should explain where they're. I think Danny Kerman's testimonial golf day, all thinking they're Shane Lowry.
Yes. I've heard of him, he won the golf, didn't he?
He did.
Before they get here, is there anything you want to say to start the programme?
Well, I'm sure that we'll debate all the pressing issues.
Yeah. I'm slightly concerned that apparently in one of the papers today, Brett Ferris is off to Wakefield, which would be a terrible signing. I don't know
what you mean.
Don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, but
I think
I was told he wasn't going, so I'd be very upset if he was.
we're very much looking forward to the Women's Challenge Cup final.
We are. Well, speaking of, before we get properly started here, because of course last week the World Cup, they announced the teams who would be involved in the women's event and the wheelchair event.
They did.
Norway and Spain, the I guess surprise ones in the wheelchair World Cup.
Well,
but,
USA as well.
Yes.
As yet haven't made their debut in.
But the in the women's World Cup, England and Australia were there, right? Hers and the holders yet. New Zealand, Papua New Guinea.
Well, France are the holders.
I'm talking about the women's one now.
Yes. Ah, right.
Yeah.
Not the wheelchair.
No.
France are the wheelchair
Yeah,
holders.
they are. France are there, New Zealand, Papua New Guinea, of course, if we got film out, they've got to be in. Canada, they were in the last one. The Cook Islands. Brazil
from nowhere.
No.
But no Fiji, who complained of Italy that having played in a recent international they weren't included. The argument being there were already 4 Pacific Island nations there. But the Brazilians being included, over 1 million people have been on social media in the country. Interesting.
In a world of where you've got to grow an audience in sport where people might not have heard of you before, unfortunately these are the things you have to do. Not everyone gets in on merit. The reason why in the Football World Cup, like the Saudi Arabia have always been in, because they're trying to get investment in the Middle East, aren't they?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, of course.
We have the Challenge Cup men's semi-finals and women's final on Saturday.
Yes.
You would have thought they would be big enough standalone events for the sport of rugby league, but nothing else would be on at the same time. Why are Hunslet playing Whitehaven on Saturday at 3 o'clock?
Especially when recently they've been playing on a Friday night up against the Leeds Rhinos, which also seems...
I mean, bearing in mind that Whitehaven are top of League One, Hunslet are jockeying for a playoff position. They're 5 points behind them, but they've got a game in hand. That's a big deal in League One. We've got a whole free Sunday apart from 2 80-95 Cup semi-finals, which obviously doesn't involve any League One. But why? Why do we do that?
It's fallen off again.
The reaction to that comment was such that the camera fell over.
I think it's the Blue Tack's not happy. They will be here soon, and when they do come in, I will fix things properly. But they've left us in the lurch. They've gone off on the Jolly Boys on the golf.
We'll have tall tales of what they've been up to, no doubt, when they arrive. So yes, I'm just looking at the fixtures for next week. Could not believe there was a League One fixture scheduled for the same time as the Cup semi-final.
We'll talk about the Channel 4 thing in a bit, because it's actually quite an amusing story when you deep into what's happened in the last 24 hours. If you want to talk about anything in the world of rugby league, at Forty20 Live on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. What has happened this week? I'm trying to work out what's happened, apart from Wakefield are rubbish and we don't know who's going down from Super League.
Well, we know it's one of 5 teams, but nobody can say at the moment who that is likely to be.
Saints have cheated, everyone knows that. We don't need to talk about that.
I don't understand
York have cheated, everyone's cheated.
Furore with St Helens. Can anybody outline why it is a disgrace that they did what they did, when bearing in mind they are 10 points clear at the top of the division? They've earned the right to do what the hell they like.
And of those...
And if they'd had 10 injuries, that's the team they would have played.
If I look at the bottom of the Super League, apart from London, because they can't lose to themselves, although Leeds have managed to lose themselves a couple of times this year, all those 3 teams above them have lost to London. It's almost as if they were relegated, it would be their own fault, but you're not allowed to say that for some reason because it's not there. It's always somebody in rugby league. It's always somebody else's fault. I don't know if are we allowed to even say that, because I know we've got to be positive about everything these days because everyone's on that bloody bandwagon now. Everything's positive, apart from the negative. But the only thing you're about to be negative about is negative people, because they're negative.
Right. Well, I'm when the
everyone
full
else, you've got to be
team is
positive.
here, I'm going to have a go at somebody. Can I tell you my latest bugbear
Go on.
regarding rugby league? When was it mandated that touch judges could run on the field during play?
I thought it was just when there was a fight or something.
Every time there is a tackle now that's near the touchline, the touch judges are running on to say to the tackle players release or dominant or and running back off again. So you look up whilst trying to follow the play, and there is a touch judge on the field in every game, in every scenario. Get off the field.
This is the big moaning. If you want to moan about something,
That's neither
At
positive or
40-20,
negative, but
right.
could somebody please explain the edict that now says touch judges need to be on the field of play? It's a horrible look.
you know what we haven't mentioned,
Please don't do it.
and we should have started the programme with this, because history was made on Saturday afternoon. I fell asleep because I was working on Saturday night, and I looked up, and then I looked down, and I thought, what? Because it was 20-0 at half time. I thought, well, that must have got the score the wrong way around, West Wales on the graphics. But no, West Wales Raiders have won a game, so that's it now. It's all over. What can they do now? They can just win again, but
They can,
what are they saying?
they can finish above Keith.
Which would be, I mean, I say hilarious. Yeah, they had a go at me, so yeah, it's hilarious if Keith finished bottom of the league.
I mean, full credit to West Wales for the perseverance in everything they've been through, the 705 matches and 15 decades that they haven't won a game. I did speak to somebody from Coventry and said,
What happened?
yeah, and they were very, very, unlike some other teams in higher divisions, they were very, very magnanimous in defeat.
Gallant losers, yeah.
And said that they wished West Wales nothing but the best. They did have a few people that weren't playing. They knew exactly what they'd been through and couldn't be happier for West Wales. But unfortunately for them, I hear the patter of tiny footsteps. And Skelly,
No, yes.
here we are. He's gone the wrong way.
Alright lads,
See, we've
Where's-
held,
where's
we
the,
held the fort.
Where's the tripod? Get a tripod.
you want me to go get it?
Yeah, because it fell off. It's fallen off twice.
Oh,
Right,
bloody
no,
hell.
Go on, you sit down. Don't matter. Leave it.
I'll go get it.
False start.
Yeah.
One in the toilet.
Joe wants us to say that the referees are all rubbish. No, they're not.
They're not. They're not.
They're not.
But touch judges on the field is a very poor look. And they do it in the NRL as well, so it's not just based on Super League or the Championship.
Here's Carl, amateur hour. Scruffy little bloke and a fella reading the paper. Is this a jokey sketch about old rugby league folk? As I always say every week, Carl. Go turn over.
Which one's scruffy?
Go watch something else. This is what it is. That's the popular phrase these days.
We
They say it
are
on the Love Island.
officially holding the fort for... Did you... You've got a bit of a tan.
Yes.
Garbage.
Garbage.
So
Yes,
are we allowed to analyse your golf in the same way that we analyse the matches?
Only positively. Only positively, don't forget.
All I will
Vision and
say,
awareness on the course?
all I will say about my golf is quite pathetic and not consistent. Simple.
Well, you can't ask for more
A lot,
honesty than that.
a lot around what's going on at the moment in performances from sides. Simple as that.
Harry says, what do we
All right, boys. Anyway, okay.
We're good.
All right. Yeah, good.
The other thing is people on the pitch, just people on the pitch. You know the old Gary Mercer rule.
Yes.
There's more Gary Mercers on the pitch than ever before these days. Here he is.
Who's that?
Harry says it's the Lee Centurion season so far, which is a season of two halves. It's when they didn't have any money and then they've signed a lot of players. Who'd have thunk it? It's amazing, isn't it?
Funny
Well, I
that.
thought they were
The better
skint
the
last year.
the better the players you've got, the more points you accrue.
They were skint last year, weren't they? That did happen. I do remember them.
No. History's been rewritten.
And then what's interesting is they've signed all these players in challenge for the championship. Yet I saw Toronto on the telly yesterday. They've lost one game all season. They've got one of the best coaches in the modern era. They ain't going to lose that grand final. Not now.
No, I don't know. I disagree. I thought they looked really shaky yesterday. I know they had a couple out, but
Just to annoy all the Facebook people.
yeah.
What's happened to the trophy anyway? What's
What's going on? It's been vandalised.
Nothing's happened to it. We're a rugby league.
Well, apologies that we're late. We obviously don't know what's been happening.
Well, we were just.
We've been helping out one of our rugby league colleagues. That's all
No,
we're
we
gonna
said
say.
that you were.
Oh, did you?
Trying
You've
to
got us in.
aim for 6 more games and keep the key men out there.
Don't forget though, during that they're going to get 2 weekends off.
Yeah,
That is going to be huge.
All of those clubs are.
Yeah, no, but for London especially, that's going to be huge.
Hull KR had their loan players taken back, which they always knew was going to be a possibility.
What did we make of that hoo-ha last week?
The one thing I don't understand is why Warrington didn't play those players. I think if you call them back, the intention must be to play them. But to call them back and not play them does. But it's part of the
It's
agreement.
my
You can call them back
understanding
when
that
they were covering a couple of injuries just
they
in
had
case.
a trial, a training session, and they picked up a couple of knocks.
Yes,
And
and that's
they've-
why they called them.
They've called them back, but
I think more importantly for Hull KR, losing Matt Parcell most likely for the remainder of the season is now an issue because he gave them that extra dimension out of dummy half.
he was the bigger miss than the two boys that didn't play, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Leeds, you don't know what you're going to get at the moment. There are signs of spirit there, but as you said, that's not enough for this to be a result.
What did I say the other week when Huddersfield were playing well and lost at Cass?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
a bad sign. It is a bad sign because there's going to be weeks where you don't play well.
Wakefield's body language looks awful at the moment.
They've given some of them have given
I'll
up.
tell you what,
I'll be honest.
what
Some
I
of them have
really
given
enjoy,
up.
and this is the battle of the world at the moment, it's all about perception.
It is.
If you're perceived to be in a fight against relegation, right, fair enough, you've
I
had
like this pause.
Yeah.
I like the beard stroking
fair enough,
pause.
you've got a few days off. I've not no problems with players having a few days off to rest. They obviously need to recharge their batteries. I've got no problems with players going on holiday or whatever. Don't flaunt it on social media.
Why? Who's done that?
Don't fill your Instagram stories full
Who's
of
done that?
one of Wakefield's players. Oh, look, here I am in Malta. Don't do that. Don't do that. It's just sensible.
There's people
'Cause
I
people
think
think-
that club worried about their future.
People
and
think
that is not the perception you want, is
people think some of the players don't care or some of the players aren't trying. I'm not saying the player who's doing this is one of those players.
it? No.
But don't.
But like you said,
don't
the
do it.
perception is that that's what's
You
happening.
know you've lost. You don't go drinking in your own town because you look like an idiot.
Okay. Fair
Being
enough.
idiots.
Should we congratulate the first team to get silverware officially this season?
Yeah, go on then. You can do.
I thought Toronto Wolfpack.
Ooh.
Well, the point that I was going
What
to
was
make.
that old boy saying to Brian McDermott? That's what
Oh,
I want.
yeah.
Well, I think he must have been one of the people doing because Brian wouldn't have accepted that, and he may well have pointed out to Brian that he wasn't keen on Toronto for some reason or other.
It's Toronto's fault that Winners have got no money and went skint.
I can't understand why fans would boo a team that's picked up the trophy.
People are idiots. We have to keep saying this because
Yeah.
people don't believe.
I mean, I was there, but I couldn't hear that because I turned that.
So who was
bit of
booing the
thing.
Widnes
The
fans?
Widnes fans. I mean, straight after the game, there was a presentation to Toronto of the league, and as a sport, we keep saying we need to value the league leader shield more. That
Hold on.
it's one of the
Hold on.
Hang on.
You've gone completely out of sync here. I've just been reminded on social media. Never mind bloody Toronto. West Wales
Yeah, no,
won.
we've
No, we've done that.
No, but they won.
We did that in your
They won.
absence. Yeah, no, we paid tribute to that in your absence, in your tardiness.
So what you're saying? I was late then.
You're
Right,
right.
okay. Well done at West
So
Wales.
if you want to add your congratulations,
Oh,
We
you
did,
what?
we did say
Eh?
we hope they finish up with Keighley now, so we're fingers crossed on that one.
Here.
People know
They are only 1
yes,
point
we're
behind.
one
them.
behind. So
Go on the
Raiders.
Crusaders. On the Raiders.
Raiders,
Yeah,
wrong
wrong
one.
well.
no,
Wrong well.
we've done that.
Oh, sorry.
Had you been tuning
Carry
in on the
Carry
way
on.
here?
Right, well, he'll edit that out. I know he won't, but we can say he'll edit it out.
But I just cannot understand why fans would boo when the best team in that division is picking up a trophy, and we're trying to make a value out of the league leader shield.
Wiggins played so well.
They were fantastic.
As well. I don't why. Just, I
They-
don't
they-
conspiracy theories.
Was it 10 of their
11
team,
apparently.
11 had
11.
come through their
Yeah, 11.
academy ranks?
Yeah.
They pushed Toronto as much as any team has pushed them this
Well, they
year.
just made too many mistakes. They dropped one too many ball in their own 20. Other than that, they don't won the game.
Why would you boo a team that has done so well this year in your division that is getting a trophy?
Jealousy. There you go.
Well,
There's
there's
jealousy.
no place for it.
No, but
It makes the sport look
Yeah,
ridiculously
Phil,
small.
Exactly, and it's jealousy, you know. And first of all, I want to say as well, big Toronto fan, Sandy,
Sandy.
and you lads know, and I had the great company of hers on the Friday at a luncheon in Leeds from there, and to be honest with you, Sandy's been open and honest, and some of the behaviour yesterday of the response from the Winders fans has been, if I'm honest with you, for what she has said to me, pretty disgraceful, to be honest with you there. So it's jealousy. Listen, Winders fans, just have a bit of respect for other sides, for other players, and for other supporters. Have respect. But Sandra, I'd say, well, Sandy, I know you like to be called. Thank you very much for your time on Friday. Certainly, if all the Toronto fans have got the passion and desire and the purpose what she's got, I'll tell you what, Toronto aren't going to fail.
No,
Toronto are going to be a massive success.
We've got it all wrong. They weren't booing Toronto. Here's Gary the Viking.
They were booing
They bring the
the
RFL. They bring Ralph Rimmer. They bring the other fellow who handed over.
Simon Johnson, who they don't know,
Yeah. Good.
who didn't actually present the cup, he just sort of handed it over.
Oh,
and
that was
walked
poor,
out the
wasn't
way.
it?
Yeah.
Nearly dropped it and then chucked it at Josh.
I mean, that would have cost at least 50p of damage if it had.
But those pictures went back live to Canada.
Yeah.
So
Well,
what impression does that
Exactly.
make of our game to a potential new market? And of course, there will be another presentation. The one thing Toronto will do is they will make sure that when they play their next home game, they're represented with the cup. They make a big deal out of it. It's 3 years running as won the league.
was it because it was on the telly yesterday that they got
that
it
was
presented
part of it,
yesterday?
yeah. And it was being relayed back to Canada. And if you've seen some of the tweets that the Wolfpack got from the
Yeah.
other
Yes.
sporting
Yeah,
teams
yeah,
in
yeah.
Toronto, millions of people in Toronto have
Are aware.
congratulated on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
achievement. So why shouldn't we present it?
Yeah.
Yeah, but the editor of one of Rugby League's top daily newspapers said, League Leader Shields don't count. In direct contrast to one of his journalists yesterday saying everyone in Rugby League needs to be positive, which is a lot of crap, as we know. Don't need all to be positive.
Realistic.
Realistic? Well, we'll come to that in a bit.
Alright.
So to all of the
People have to
Winners
be
fans
realistic
that
about the
booed,
quality of this programme.
boo to you. I
Oh.
say.
Okay. Fair enough. Do you
So-
think they're going to win it? I'm just growing in.
I'm
I'm
not
growing in
sure.
the thought they're not going to win it. I'm growing in the thought they're not going to win it.
I think they've got the coach that will make sure that should they be in the grand final, they've got the game plan to win it. Which I don't think,
Still got
don't
to win
think they
it.
had last year.
Still got to win it.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Still got to win it.
And I think what will drive them from here on in is the knowledge that they didn't do that last year.
Hmm.
And they've got some better decision makers out there. John Wilkin clearly makes a difference to the team that they had last
He
year.
had a poor game yesterday.
Yeah, but
By his standards, I hasten to add.
but he can still, when the big games come around, the reason why they're there, I think they've got enough big hitters.
Yeah. No, I
The,
agree.
the only team, I mean, Toulouse are starting to find a bit of form.
York.
And they're very unpredictable. York have overachieved already. I mean,
Oh,
York's aim
oh.
was to not be relegated, to be in a position where they
Phil,
might
what's
be.
been relegated? They were looking at top 5 from day one. Eh?
And Lee are recruiting to put a concerted effort into winning this competition. So it's by no means a given for Toronto. But I just think that the memory of what happened last year will drive them for it not to happen this year.
Let's not give
So tight at the top of the championship.
let's not give too much credit to York because we all know that they robbed the poor Bradford Bulls who can't take losing in that game yesterday at York. Talk about bad.
My
losers.
sources suggest the Bulls might have other things to worry about rather than
Well,
21 seconds.
Talk
whatever
about
the
talk
last
about
guy
bad losers. That is disgraceful.
Was he
Well,
not a bad loser?
No,
Well,
it's
they've
the,
been- well,
the club have backed it up.
What they've been saying, Rich? What's
Well,
the
there you've got the
so-
coach claiming that perhaps York used the head impact assessment to their own advantage.
Should he get done for that, John Keir? I mean,
Yes.
it's not like
if-
John Keir to react like
If
that.
it's proven that he's wrong, then yes, he
Well,
should.
yeah, but I know, they're not
Doctors-
gonna
doctors can't
disprove
prove
that,
it,
are they? They
Well,
can't disprove
They
that.
need to send him a warning letter saying that kind of
A
thing.
warning letter?
Yeah.
I think that's blatant contempt for the game.
He's bringing the game into dispute.
Yeah, I think he has done. Yeah.
So what's he
I
said?
think
What's he said? What's
He said
happened?
that the
York deliberately got an extra substitution because they misused the HIA.
yeah, and the guy has brought. Well, it looks like he's broken his nose. He's certainly been smacked in the head.
Yeah, well, that's a head test, then, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a head injury assessment.
Yeah,
But
you
how-
know, it's part of the,
Yeah.
you know, it's part of the head, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how can a coach overrule a doctor? The doctor's out there and says this guy needs to come off.
And be careful what you wish for, because didn't he say he wants independent doctor? Well, that's fine. And there'll come a game where you want a player to say on, and the doctor will go, "Sorry, mate, he's had a whack on
Who's,
it. He's coming off." There's no, and then it'll be the other way. Oh, well, we shouldn't be having these independent people.
Who's paying for the independent doctors? Same people who pay for the independent timekeepers.
Well, we do have independent timekeepers, and there's one from each club. So
It's not been an issue in a hundred
what
years.
makes me laugh,
Seconds.
right, is they've probably forgotten to press the button, and 20 seconds has run off, and they've got it on their clock. We know we sit next to them doing the radio. We know that they're so studious, these people.
Absolutely.
You know, they're like bloody train
And they
spotters,
work
aren't they?
together.
They're like, you know,
They work together. They talk to each other and say, right, there's one more tackle, or
Yeah. So I mean, I saw it yesterday, and I thought, and fair play. A lot of the Bulls fans that I follow on social media were like, we got stuffed. We got absolutely stuffed. It was lucky it even went to the last minute.
But when employees of the club come out the next day and talk about timekeepers, they're condoning it.
So who's done that then? Because I haven't seen.
Well, I
anything.
don't know. He's the chief executive. I don't know.
I don't know.
Talking about Damien Irvine, talking about they should have independent timekeepers or whatever.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Just lose with grace, Bradford, because this is why people like
Is
me,
this not why when they lost by a point of
This is-
witness
this
that
is why
people are
people
coming out
like
accusing
me-
the officials of,
why people
of
like me
not being
get
good?
sick
Or
of the Bradford Bulls because
No.
of that kind of.
I get sick of them as
I'll
well.
tell you what, their next game is against Toronto, which who's to say who's going to win that? But if the Wolfpack are now going into let's get into playoff mode early so that we're ready, and let's say Bradford lose that game, they're not going to make the final.
I'm just wondering though if Toronto with a week off will look at that, because you look at who they've got to come, and I think they've got Barrow and Rochdale in the next few. Now with the greatest will in the world, and I know that Barrow in particular are desperate for a win, they might look at the Bradford game as a proper test because Bradford have
Yes,
got
that's
something
what I
to
mean.
play for.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think they might
Play
go
their
there
full
quite
team
strong,
and go
and
for
then
it.
maybe rotate the few weeks after, because I think their last home game is against Lee, so that'll be an interesting one what they do there, because they could may well meet in the playoffs. But yeah, I think the Bulls didn't cover themselves in any glory, did they? I mean, we've got to say that, you know, it was a really, you know, but it is very un-John Key like. That's what.
Which
That's
hints at-
what
hints at
almost.
pressure.
Yeah, I thought that.
Pressure
You've lost a massive
outside
game.
Of, you know,
You've lost a
if
massive
you need
game.
to win that badly, there are other.
Well, they're another
factors.
look at their points difference, and that's probably a reflection of how Bradford play. Their points difference is only plus 50, so they are in effect another point behind. So you could argue they're 4 points behind the playoffs
Lots of crowd at York.
with
Full
with
field.
4,000, yeah.
Great crowd.
Fantastic.
5 games left.
Sensational crowd, wasn't it? in
Yeah.
York? Well done.
Yeah. So it's. Look, I'm not bothered. I just look at it and think,
I just can't have this
really,
anymore.
guys, really? Just say, you know, make your protest known behind the scenes. Do it in the right manner.
Yeah. There
You
will be
know.
a procedure that if you want to complain about something like that, you can do it. Because you know that everything's going to get leaked everywhere. Anyway.
Yeah, apparently so.
Do you want to talk about that? Or do you want
Go
me-
on.
Well, you've gone. You can lead the show. You drive the show.
This is John Davidson in today's League Weekly. I don't like to check which paper it is. I know which one it is. The slide is backside to spelling it. Rugby League, Football League Chief Executive Ralph Rimmer. Boo! That's for the Widnes fans there.
We're almost like they were here.
Has taken aim at the Championship and League One club. So leaking to the media, I don't know who it could mean. News of talks with Channel 4 of a possible broadcast deal. It was revealed in the media last week. This is League Weekly, not mentioning League Express. I love that kind of thing. Following a meeting between the RF and its member clubs, blah, 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 blah. Channel 4 had expressed an interest in showcasing, it's a popular rugby league world, I don't know where John got that word from, the championship. There was a strongly worded email which has been leaked to John Davidson. It read, "Dear all," I can't do Ralph's voice, "I am writing to express my extreme disappointment following our meeting last Wednesday. You will all recall in the meeting I stressed 1. The sensitive nature of negotiations. 2. The broadcaster sensitivity to public comments made by prominent figures within the game. I gave recent examples in the meeting that subsequently been played back to us in broadcaster discussions. 3. The requirement for discretion on all our broadcast discussions." So someone's favourite bit here is, "We will never find out who spoke with who." Matt Shaw's name was on the story in the paper, Ralph. Do you not read the League Weekly? That League Express. And I fully realise that the vast majority that attended have kept the information confidential. I tweeted last Tuesday, why did that story get out and who put it there? Because someone had a reason to get that story out there in the public domain. As we said last week, the first thing you would do if you're Super League, when you find out that your potential rival, I guess, is negotiating with a broadcaster, is you're straight on the phone to Channel 4 and say, Forget that nonsense, 2-dog pony show. We'll come in with a big show for you for no or whatever. So already you've bollocks, don't you? Oh, didn't mean this way. I might say buggered, but never mind. Oh, no.
Any more big words you want to use? We might as well get them out.
Never mind.
You alright, lad?
Yeah, what's his
Been
name?
on the blue
It's
smart
still
again.
on 3 days. What's his name said he once? Your mate. Brian McDermott. It's alright. I could say worse. Once again, says Ralph, you're set up again, sir. I reiterate that any broadcaster will want a sport that gives value, a sport that is proactive, people it can trust. I was speaking to someone last week who used that trust word as well. The championship clubs want this big TV deal. They want to look like they're the big I ams, but they treat everyone else and they treat themselves if they're running working men's clubs and the working men club committees, and it's all about ego. It's all about the ego of these people who run clubs which get pathetic attendances for the most part. What are they doing and why are they doing it?
But the email that we're complaining about
Has
was
been
leaked.
leaked, yeah.
Has been leaked.
They can work out who's leaked that story.
There's a big hole in that sieve.
We can work out fairly sharpish who hasn't spoken to Matt Shaw at League Express about this story, and then you narrow it down.
This is not criticism of Matt.
No, it's history.
That's
No,
not
no, no.
criticism of Matt.
No, no.
He's the one doing his job, isn't he?
job. Yeah,
He's a journalist, he's doing his job.
A good story.
Of course it
The
is.
journalist ferrets out a good story.
They can work out who it was.
But well done, Mr. Davison, as well, for following that up with another leak.
And
Mm.
you know,
Two spots, Mr. Davis.
Exactly.
the issue is that
He'll be here next week. You can ask him.
the issue is at the club, at the sport rather, there is an issue of trust between those who run clubs in the Championship and League One and the outside world. They are perceived as untrustworthy by some people.
I'm not
That's
so
what I'm
sure.
told.
I'm not so
Or
sure.
somehow.
I'm not so sure if you're quite a way down the road with your discussion that getting out is a bad thing. What I would be tempted to question is why you're so scared of getting out about it. Is it because you've had a discussion and they've gone, actually we're not interested, or have they gone, yeah, but we're not paying for it,
Well,
or what? I don't.
Didn't we have discussions with the Hearns
Yeah.
that got out because
Yeah.
we took it pictures
We took a picture.
too soon of our discussions with the Hearns
Yeah.
that led to
Yeah.
nothing, as far as I remember.
Exactly.
We all want every level of this game to be successful, lots of people to watch and everything and so on and so forth. But the clubs themselves don't help themselves with things like this.
Mm.
There was no reason for this story to get out other than somebody wanted it to get out, and that's the reason we've got to work out.
Yeah.
For ego.
Yeah. Mm.
But welcome on board Checkertrade.com.
Yes! Everyone knows their jingle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's good.
So they're now back in the Challenge Cup.
Okay. How much?
Oh, that's never
Record deal?
Well, they're the new sponsors, aren't they?
mentioned. No, they're
We fit in the
what are
offices.
they? They're partners.
Partners.
What, for
does
this year?
that,
Or
what does that
this year?
mean? What does that
Well, you
mean?
get lots of them these days, don't
Well,
you?
it means that the try of the week on the R League app is now going to be the Checkertrade try of the week.
All right. Okay. How much you paying for that?
It doesn't say on the press release.
Right. Okay. Well done.
We
Our
have-
Checker
we have-
clearly got some money.
We
They
haven't
spend
got
a lot
that
on
leaked
football.
yet.
You know, that's not knocking them. Not
And
at all.
It's a new name. So have a
It
look.
is. It is. Well done. But let's pick it up a bit.
Well, exactly, and at least it's a nationally known brand, because that was one of the things that there is a problem outside of the Super League, is the fact that are our properties commercially viable?
Well,
And the fact that-
Ladbrokes are a well-known brand, but they paid naff all for the Challenge Cup.
The fact that the
2 years ago.
1895 Cup didn't have a sponsor until the second round, and it's
Yeah,
sponsored
why
by
didn't they sponsor it?
and sponsored by one of the club chairmen,
Who were in the semi-final.
or not one of the, sorry, the wife of the club, or whatever it was on the press release. Well, we weren't supposed to work it out, but we all could, because we're not thick. But yeah, so there you go.
You alright? You ready to go?
Yeah, I think so. I mean,
Is anyone else shouting at you on Twitter? Have you upset anyone you normally do?
The internet's a bit daft today. So.
Alright, you
I
brought
don't
that.
know. So yeah, it's all a bit. I don't know.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
Oh, I feel a bit worried about you. You've got a busy few weeks on
Now,
that.
the shame about, of course, West Wales is that if it had been in another age, we could have remade that Doncaster documentary another bloody Sunday. But they don't always play on Sundays these days, so we can't do that.
Ah, okay.
But they have put the highlights up on YouTube already, so well done, West Wales.
Good. Yeah, so yeah, it's great to see.
Well,
Great
that's
to see. Front page of the paper. Well done, lads. Awful kit, by the way. Bloody awful.
It's a great one, isn't it?
It looks like Scully's shirt. Have you
It's
seen
a
it?
belter.
Looks like your shirt.
Hold on,
Is that the one you won last
Actually,
week
it
at
does.
that golf day?
Hold on,
Terrible.
listen.
How can you wear rubbish
It
like
is.
that?
This is an Ashworth t-shirt. 60
Who's
quid.
Ashworth?
60 quid with Ashworth. By the way, is anybody from Ashworth? I'm not that.
60 quid!
I'm not too bad a golfer really. Yeah, Ashworth Golf, honestly.
Where's
Yeah.
Whatever.
Ashworth.
I'm going to Google that now.
Ashworth
I'm gonna
Golf.
Google
Hey,
that.
massive. Ashworth are
I'm
massive for
Googling.
clothing.
I've never heard of them.
They're massive in golf at Ashworth, honestly.
They're massive in golf in Belle Isle.
Looks like you found that on
The
a.
Belle Isle Open.
Looks like it looks like he's found that at somewhere on on a dodgy market. Oh, here we go.
I'm telling you, Ashworth, it's huge.
Ashworth Golf, men's
Correct.
It's not sponsored.
£14.98. That's what they sell for.
What is it?
£14.98.
Not when I bought it, then.
It's not owned by Sports Direct. It's not one of these Mike Ashley.
£14. Look, didn't it say that? Ashworth solid gold.
Yeah, that's
£14.98.
for 5-year-olds.
No,
Get
it's
to
not.
triple XL like I've got to wear.
No, you've been robbed. You've been robbed.
60 quid
Scott.
this t-shirt.
You have been
Well,
absolutely
In fairness,
robbed.
Michael says the olive green does not do the legend justice.
The what?
Laughing, smiling.
Well, if I took it off,
Got
it would
any
be
bin
even,
liners
if I took
downstairs?
it off, it'd be even worse.
Have you got any bin liners? Get him to wear one of them.
That's a bit
We'll
harsh.
put a badge on
Hey,
it.
listen, but the
We'll
way I
tell
played,
it's worth
the way I
60
played today, I'd be better. You know, we should have gone to the bin liners. My clubs.
Yeah,
That's where
well,
they're going.
At least you know.
They're going in the bin.
No,
Honestly.
here's James. Toronto, yesterday they're booing, blah, blah, blah. We got, with all the controversy regarding the championship players and that, they bring nothing to the championship, or was it poor sportsmanship? Poor sportsmanship. But don't boo. What's the point of booing Ralph Rimmer? The only time it's ever been funny to boo people.
But
is
Ralph
when-
wasn't involved.
No.
His
I
picture
didn't even
came
see
up
him,
on the
no.
screen and there was a
Why
murder.
didn't he give
Well,
the
Simon Johnson is taking over from Brian Barwick on Wednesday as the chairman of the Rugby League. So
I get it mixed up with the
I'll
president.
tell you what, he made a right
He
ball
did make
on
it,
it, though, didn't he? Let's be fair. One the phrase you had one job,
Yeah.
mate, and you didn't do it very well.
The only time it's ever been good to boo people at sports events was when George Osborne got booed at the Paralympics. That was hilarious at the time.
Were you booing?
I wasn't there, but I was booing at home. any politicians, it's
You were
fair to
throwing
boo.
stuff at the tell.
Yeah, I'm getting you tell you.
Tony Adams starts on Wednesday
Yeah,
in his new role.
interesting comments last week picked up
About-
by the BBC.
What about the betting thing?
Yeah, because that's unfortunately for things like us. I know we just got Checker Trade on board as a
I
sponsor.
thought what was he called? Richard Thewlis had come back. We're not having any betting companies.
The problem we've got.
Richard Lewis.
and it's always-
Richard Lewis. Oh, I thought. Oh yeah, sorry, Richard Thewlis. Come on. Even I
That's
can't
Huddersfield.
blame you for that.
Well, he probably could.
I'll try.
Yeah.
I'll expect a bit of comeback for that.
The problem was darts, snooker, everything that isn't tennis and golf. We're all propped up by bookmakers.
I couldn't understand that. That comment from Tony Adams, because every sport is.
Well, I
Is there
understand
one-
these
why was it-
points.
why
Yeah,
was it-
but at one point, every sport was sponsored by a cigarette
Yeah.
manufacturer, and we had to move on when it was. We didn't want.
The problem is
Yeah,
there's,
but-
there's nothing left after this though. There is
No.
nothing left.
No, and
Yeah,
I
Phil,
also,
we've
I
only-
also think
We've only got two bookmakers in Cole and Betfred.
We've only got 2 cups.
But if you mention, but all the football clubs are literally sponsored by them all.
Absolutely.
Surely,
no, I don't think he was saying it's
rug-
just rugby league. I think he was talking about.
No, but
Unfortunately, it was framed as a rugby.
Yeah, but
store.
you said we rugby. I don't think, but we've only got two of them. Surely, if all the clubs, if they wanted to, could get the individual sponsorship like football clubs doing all this sort of thing. So I found
I think it's an interesting. I think
I found it a bit strange. I did.
I think it showed a bit of lack of knowledge about the sport.
Absolutely.
And I thought it
I
was
agree.
a bit of an, it
I
might have
agree.
been a throwaway comment. And look, I like a bet. I'm not going to deny. I love having a bet. I use it as a pastime. I don't have an issue with it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It funds this programme.
But if you want to have a bet, you'll have a bet. It doesn't matter whether
Exactly.
someone's sponsored by something
Yeah.
or not. If you want to have a bet, it's like saying
Yeah.
if you want a drink, just because Rugby League is sponsored by said beer, it don't mean you can have a drink. You'll find a drink if you want a drink. I think we've got.
but also as well, when he got this position, and and he said, well, I think they've helped out over 400 people in rugby league. Well, to be honest with you, I don't see football doing up the figures. I don't see rugby union or any other sport. I don't think it's a
Very
sporting
interesting
chance.
first.
He hasn't got any knowledge of rugby league. That's my opinion. He hasn't.
He went to a game at Warrington the other week.
How many more games has he been to? I tell you what, would Tony Adams know myself,
Well,
Ellery Hanley,
well-
Andy Gregory, Martin Fire,
We'll ask
Sean
him-
Edwards,
we'll ask
Lee
him on
Crooks,
Wednesday.
Joe Lydon? Would he really know
We'll
the
ask
history of the game of rugby
well,
league?
have you been,
Well,
in
he
the,
was
have you
busy
been
in
in
the early
Sporting
90s.
Chance?
I don't want to go to Sporting Chance.
Well, he
What
wouldn't,
time is it?
he wouldn't know you then.
I don't want to go to Sporting Chance.
We'll ask him on
We might have been
Wednesday.
on Question of Sport, we never know.
You know, so what does he know about rugby league?
Well, I think the role he does is a very good one.
Yeah, in that position, what he's in.
And
What is he going to bring to rugby league?
Well, I think he can increase
His
the
name.
profile of rugby league because I think when he talks, a lot more people listen than perhaps.
What was he going to talk
when
about?
Brian Bauer- Well,
About the problems we've got with gambling, drinking, and drugs.
so far, it's a really interesting first topic to talk about. But if he talks about, I didn't know a lot about rugby league and I've seen some of the greatest athletes I've ever seen playing this game, then over the course of his year in post, it could be very good for him.
Well, in my opinion,
It could be, yeah.
Could be.
Well, yeah.
why is it Harry Ellis the president of the Rugby Football League? People listen to him more than what they would to Tony Adams.
Might get asked him to write a report like Andy Burnham's writing.
Yes.
Hmm.
Well, Stuart Pearce hasn't done bad for promoting rugby league. He became imbued with it through his friendship with.
Yeah, he hasn't.
Tony
But I don't hear him talking about all the bad things.
Mm.
No,
Yeah, exactly.
it's a very interesting first start.
Right,
for
so
who's going to be president.
Right,
of the
so
RFL.
the question what I'll say then, when his role finishes in 12 months' time, will Tony Adams keep watching rugby league? I bet you he doesn't.
I don't know.
I bet you he doesn't.
Might be busy
We
playing the
can
piano
ask
or
him.
something.
When he goes to Wembley, he might be so taken with the sport and the day and the event and.
You can have a chat with him at Wembley because you're an
I
ex-player.
ain't
Yeah,
got me- I ain't got me invite yet.
You get a free ticket, you got
You
to
will,
apply.
you
All
will.
ex-players get a
He'll
free
be sat
ticket.
next to him in
I've
the
seen
roll
that.
box. You can ask him.
Does that include PDRL?
I think it's all players who played at Wembley get a free ticket.
That's if you've won. That's if you've won it.
No, I think it's. I think it's.
That's no. I was told that's if you've won the challenge.
Well, he might have had a few losing
Depends how many tickets
Can
they
you add them
sell.
up?
You know, you can. You know, it's like
You like three for a
it's like the green shield stamps. You know, if you've got a few, you might qualify to watch the first half. The cup presentation. I don't want to watch that.
Of the 1895, you get the first half,
Yeah, do you know what I mean? Yeah, or you might get to watch the lesser game and stuff. But no, we've not got the invite yet.
I'm sure you will after
No,
the
no.
semi-finals.
Well, we've not got the invite to semi-finals, but we're part of the Rugby League Hall of Fame. We should.
Is
When
it
you
gonna
talk
be
about
Saturday
Tony Adams,
weekend?
Well, they haven't announced anything. There was the press conference this afternoon at Bolton,
Which
and
we weren't at.
that wasn't mentioned.
but as I say though, Phil, we're part of the Hall of Fame. And I've not got my invite to the semi-final.
You should.
Exactly.
All
exactly.
the
Where are they?
all the Leeds ex-players have got an invitation, as every club's ex-players have.
Well, I'm an ex-player at Hull. I'm an ex-player at Leeds. I'm an ex-Great Britain player, the most capped Great Britain
I'm
player.
sure they're
Does that not qualify me?
I'm sure they're trying
Does that
to
not
get
qualify
hold
me?
of you as we
Sorry, as a
speak.
team, we've got 46 Great Britain players. Does that not qualify me to get an
Well, that's
invitation?
why I
Phil?
can't understand why,
It's
as
pathetic.
yet, you haven't been.
This is where I feel like me get totally balled off with the RFL.
See, we've upset
See,
him.
we've gone.
You know, because of the history. We have history. Without history, you ain't got life. But you know, sport, it's absolutely pathetic. And and what I have to do, I send messages or make phone calls. Oh, am I getting this invite? Am I getting that invite? It's absolutely pathetic.
Don't you get the message? They keep not inviting you. You don't see.
Well, do you know what, Matt? You know why don't they just why don't they just say that I won't? You know what I mean? That I won't. Eh? Honestly, it's a joke. It is.
Just going on, they don't sound out invites via CFAX, that's KPW. People upset we haven't talked about rugby yet.
Hey, do you know? I might find out by CFAX. Yes, go. You don't get any invite.
Alan,
Yeah, hold on. Anyway, breaking news. Because on Sunday, the legend texted me. Because we did our predictions last week about, and we said, Catalans, there were a bit of a, depends if Matty Smith playing.
Yeah.
And Scully texted me on Sunday morning, Matty Smith's playing today, and I'm like, wow, how do you know that? It were on CFAX.
It was.
And sure enough, it was.
Listen,
Sure enough, they
listen,
was.
you don't believe me. That's where I get my update. I look at CFAX every night and through the night and everything to get all my updates on the sport. That's where I get my knowledge. You don't need all this toss of computers and laptops
It
and
ain't even on this. It just makes it
Yeah,
up.
exactly. CFAX
it's like pointless.
CFAX is more reliable than anything. I'm telling you. Very knowledgeable.
Alan was not happy because we made a comment saying Winners fans were jealous of Toronto. We Winners fans were annoyed with the way we've been treated, firstly by with the previous regime, I won't use the phrase used,
Yeah,
and then the RFL's treatment.
What have the RFL done wrong?
exactly.
What have the
They've
RFL done wrong?
withheld some money.
Have they, or have the Super League done that?
Well,
And why have they
The
done
Super League have done that, haven't they? Not the RFL.
who withheld money over the academy? All the money's been handed over for the academy. But irrespective, you were desecrating Toronto's moment. That wasn't the time or the place to boo. And if you've got to explain why you booed, it means you were wrong to boo, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, well, the fact that no one knew why you were
And
booing.
not every Widnes fan should be tarred with that, because they didn't all boo, clearly. But the section that did, on a live feed going back to Canada as well as on a main Sky channel, does not do the game any good.
I never understand why people watch this programme and then moan.
Go on, who's moaning? Dig them out, dig them out.
Steve, John.
Go on, what's John Paul?
Anybody fancy clay pigeon shooting or hook it up because tonight is not all that good. Sorry guys, but it is what it is. It is what it is.
No problem. No problem.
Can't talk rugby because Leeds lost. We're going to talk about the topic. If we just talked about the games of rugby, this game would be rubbish because there'd be nothing.
I'll tell you what, ask the people who's getting relegated. Get your thoughts in and we'll start talking
but you know,
about that.
but also as well, you know what we've done tonight, fella? We started talking about the championship first. We get slagged off and say you don't mention the championship.
Yeah.
So all we've done, we've rotated talking about the championship, and then obviously we'll get to our crap Wakefield down and how it constantly leads down and all this sort of thing. Yeah. So listen, please, you know, give us an opportunity from a point of view. What rotation do you want? We've rotated where we talked about the championship, how good the championship has been, and then we'll get to Super League. That's all we've done.
And I guess if they hadn't been given that's the thing. If they hadn't been given it yesterday, people would say, "I doesn't have to fly out to Canada to give it to them there."
They'll make a really big deal about it when they get back home.
They certainly should.
And so, yeah.
You know, I saw the tweet from the Maple Leafs, the Raptors who've just won the NBA.
Yeah, come on then. I know we talk about we went from a point of view we say, well, Leeds in crisis. I'll tell you what, let's forget about Leeds at this moment in time. Let's get it in the Wakefield because
what time is it? What time is it?
Well, we'll take this quarter nearly 10%.
Quarter 7 already.
Okay. Very good. It's easy when you just come off the bench, isn't it? You get used to this.
What did you say on the?
20 minutes downstairs on the biscuit tin and then coming in.
What was the quote I took from you, Scott? Was it something like some players haven't got the fight or something? I can't remember what exactly you said on the video after the game on Thursday.
Well, they've got the desire, they've got the purpose, and me and Mark was there, and I said to Mark, I think I said it around about 4 or 5 minutes. Look at the body language. The body language told me they did not want to be on that rugby league pitch. And in my column today, I've given that performance. All right, the second half, all right, but yeah, of course you want the reaction after being 34-0 down and a roast.
Well, it's irrelevant, isn't it?
And a roasting from the coach, and even the coach is saying, you know, we don't look a team that they want to be in the trenches together. We're not a team that we want to work for each other. We want to be together. And that first half performance, because Wigan didn't have to do anything extraordinary or anything from a point of view where.
Liam Farrell, who's back to his very best.
Yeah, he's back to he's not anything. But all Liam Farrell did for him was just run hard and straight and run into the fresh air. The creativity with George Williams, the creativity with Sam Powell from there. Same with Willie Isa from there. So they didn't have to do anything over exuberant, you would say, just to break that Wakefield defence down, because it was soft. And when I talk about purpose and desire, enthusiasm, the body language was absolutely atrocious, and it just looked as though they didn't want to be there. And the second half they got a bit of a reaction, and the 2 tries Hampshire scored, chips over the top, good bit of vision there from Miller. But the big problem for Wakefield is, and it was the big talking point before the season started, the halfback partnership with Danny Brough and Jacob Miller, for me, simply is not working. And so now, as I've mentioned, with Steve McNamara, what he's done is dropped Matty Smith. I've mentioned it at Leeds, you know, as Richie, as he got the Crystals to totally leave Richie Mara out from there. And now what
Huddersfield have done the same with Matt Frawley.
Correct. So what Ches has got now, he's got a big decision. He has got, one of them has to be dropped, because it's quite simple. That halfback partnership is not working. They're not happy together. You can see that from the body language, because they both want to be in total control. They just want to have the ball all the time. They want to kick all the time. And I've said it in my column, and I'm going to say it here tonight. For me, Brough has got to be dropped.
Who would you play?
It's not working.
I thought he would be the difference maker, and it hasn't happened.
It's
the same questions that I had of him at Huddersfield, how many games does he win? Is the same question now.
Well, Mark, people say you know regarding his kicking game. His kicking game,
you look at the last 4 or 5 games has been atrocious. He missed those 2 kicks at goal at the end.
But his tactical kicking has been absolutely atrocious.
He kicked out on the full again this week.
And at this moment in time, the creativity with his ball in hand, Brough is being a passenger.
Is that because he's still suffering from his broken thumb that he had pinned?
Well, he should be playing them. But if he's not fully fit, he should be playing.
Who else have they got?
Ben Reynolds.
I'm not sure that, by the way, would be
Ryan Hampshire.
a reason for him playing as he is doing.
No, I'm just saying, is he fully fit? I'm trying to mitigate on.
Yeah, look, he may well be. We know I think he got a pec injury as well, but apparently he's fit to play. Like I said, he pull on the shirt, then you're there.
If he's declared himself fit to play, then he should be doing far better than what he's doing.
The coach is one of the most astute around, so he can see what we can see. But he isn't dropping Danny Brough.
Gary pointed out to me, I think, just before Farrell scored his try, the defensive structure, and it was easy to see. There were 3 Wakey defenders and 5 Wigan attackers, and not one Wakey player said to the guy inside, come on, come on. And how many times do you see it? They're screaming at each other, come on, come on. Because you don't want to be the guy on the end when they run past you, because you're going, hang on, I want to get on that side. And none of them, they just all, no one said anything. They just stood there, and sure enough, they scored. And it was like, that is just such a... You've got to speak to each other, boy. You've got to talk to each other.
And I get that 2 of their best defenders are out long term. But...
Who?
Arona and Ashurst. 2 of the most dependable and reliable and positionally most aware in defence. And you lose them, it's going to make a hole. But you look who Wigan didn't have playing for them on
their defensive attitude is just a different
Phil,
I can't find a reason
everybody goes on at times, regarding injuries and the squad. Yeah, all right, everybody's going to get injuries, but at the end of the day...
No, I'm saying you can't use that as an excuse.
But then the players who were out there, surely... For what I saw, with the body language from there, no desire, no purpose, and certainly no enthusiasm. And I said to Mark in the comments as well in the first hour, I said, hey, I tell you what, the teammates from there, from a point of view, no communication, it's looking at me as if he's looking at his teammates saying, I tell you what, I wouldn't want to be in the trenches with you, because it looks as though as though you don't want to be.
Isn't that what Chris Chester said at half time? He actually asked the players if they liked each other.
Correct, absolutely.
We've had this debate before about what a captain needs to do at a time like that. Is Jacob Miller the wrong selection as captain?
Well, it's been made as... Yeah, but unfortunately for Jacob Miller, he's got a bigger personality at the side of him in Danny Brough. So the question is...
Well, what's gone wrong? What has gone wrong? Because they were going well, and
the
there
top
was
5.
Talk of strengthening the squad with a view to trying to make sure they made the 5. Well, I think it was ever since I said they could win it. They've won against it.
Well, I'll tell you what,
once in 9.
Well, maybe they're falling in love with themselves. Maybe also too they believe in the publicity that they are a good side. And again, it's what's happened in Super League all year to every team except St Helens. It's the consistency. But now, with the lack of confidence what they've got and the big dilemma, it is a massive dilemma with what they've got with Brough and Miller. All right, people will say, well, without the forwards going forwards, then the half-backs can't do anything. The forwards at times are getting them in decent field position, but it's just not happening. It's just not happening from there, from a creative point of view, from an organisation point of view from there, and the leadership point of view. It's not happening, and it's got to happen. One of them has to be dropped. And for me,
they got to St Helens after the semi-finals.
Yes.
They've also got London last game. They've got Hull KR as well. Other than that, I think they play Wigan, Warrington and Hull. They've got some tough games. They've got to play basically the top 4 teams.
They've got to get it right.
And the bottom 2.
Yeah.
Now, as you said, they might win one more game, and if it's against Hull KR or London, that might be the win that keeps them up. But they can't rely on. I get the impression that people are going, we'll be all right, because
exactly.
Like someone said the other week when we were at Headingley, and someone went, oh, well, we always beat Hull at home, so we'll beat Hull. I thought, no, you won't.
There's no
you
given.
won't.
There are no givens.
You're not going to beat anyone playing like you're playing. And I think Wakefield are in danger of making it a 2-game season by going, well, it doesn't matter this week, so if we turn up next week, we'll beat them. And I am worried. Perception is, you see Huddersfield all of a sudden, oh, they've won, they're alright, everyone thinks they're alright, Leeds playing alright, well, the perception is they're alright, London have won again, they're alright. No, they're not. There are 5 poor teams, or teams that have underperformed.
Well, I think
4 teams
and one that's
underperformed.
Let's put them all. I think the other thing as well is that Chris Chester's another coach, a bit like Tony Smith now, that's saying we need to get some players in just to freshen. Where are you going to get the players now? Because nobody's going to release a player. Well, nobody's going to release a player that's in or around you in the league, because they're all desperately trying to find their best combinations. Once it comes to late on in the season and you've got to decide whether you dual reg, you're staying out or coming back, most of those who are any good will be coming back.
Do you think if you had a vote now on the Super 8s and said, right lads, do you want the Super 8, we'll bring them in now. All those clubs would want them back, wouldn't they? Because they'd all want that security of another go.
Of knowing that they were likely to play in a championship team for their survival.
It's laughable. It's laughable that they thought getting rid of the 8s would sort this out. It's made it worse. And when you put a Toronto in, or a Lee that will go and spend the money, or will have a dig in Super League, it's going to be the same again next year.
You mentioned we wait for their freshening up, Phil. What position are they looking for to freshen up?
All that Chris Chester said after the game was he needs to get a couple of players in, but I don't see that loan market.
Is that right? For Peter's out for the rest of the season? Has he gone?
He's going for an operation, I think. But
Bless you.
Thank you.
whether he's
What does our resident Wakefield fan think?
I think it was very
Who
interesting.
nicked his scooter anyway?
Jacob Miller, apparently. You said he tried to flog it on Twitter. It's quite good. So there's still banter. What were they saying after the game when Big Dave was on the telly? Something about it's all working in training, just not when they cross the white line.
Well, let me tell you this then. Let me just tell you this then. When the comment comes out saying it's all working in training, well, that's a lot of tosh. Because let me just tell you this: how you train is how you play, and how you play is how you train. So if Fafita is saying that, you know what? He's making things up and he's kidding it to the supporters, because what I'm seeing from what I saw from Wakefield on Thursday night, I'll tell you what, there is no desperation. There is no desperation from the players for the fight.
It's like they've lost the hunger.
You're correct, because they've got themselves in the comfort zone. And I say whatever's been said on social media, you know, that they're away on holiday and all this sort of thing. Boy, oh boy, what will the suspect be figured out? But that's what's been decided by the coach and the players before what happened there on Thursday night.
Well, what do we say? One of the only 2 or 3 people that could have left that field with any credit.
Yeah.
One of them was Anakin.
Anakin was outstanding.
Came on off the bench and he ran it in hard and straight. He ran it in like it mattered.
Absolutely.
He ran it in like he wanted to break the tackle.
The other forward as well.
Tanganoa.
So them two for the performance. Yeah,
They both got 4 out of 10 in the pitch.
Anakin got 4 out of 10. That is a disgrace.
I'd have given. Yeah.
Why not got 6 as he scored 2 tries?
Personally, I would have given them 2 players 7 out of 10. That's personally, but as a team collectively, they get 1 out of 10 just for putting the shirt up and turning up, and that's all they can have.
Do you think part of the problem is that Chris Chester genuinely doesn't know what his best team is at the moment?
Well, I think he keeps saying he's only got so many players to play, hasn't he? Which doesn't help.
Why have they gone from being a good team to being a bad team? That's what worries me. Why is this happening? Why? We can talk about pride and whatever, and they should do it, but why are they not doing it? Why are they not doing it?
Clearly, Danny Kerman isn't playing. Who is the leader?
Yeah.
And nominally, at least, is the captain. Even if the armband goes to Jacob Miller, if Danny Kerman plays, he's effectively the guy that can rally the troops. In the same way that Gareth Ellis doesn't need to be the captain at Hull, but when he was on the field yesterday, they were a different team. He was magnificent, Gareth Ellis. He doesn't have to play every minute of every game, but he lifts all the players around him when he comes on.
Yeah, but also too.
Who are Wakefield's leaders? Is that part of the problem?
Yeah, but Phil, at this moment in time, the way Wakefield are, we can talk about the coaches, you know, and what they're looking to bring in, but the players have to take responsibility for their own performance. They've got to. It's an old saying, but it's the right saying. They've got to do the mirror test.
But who are the
do the mirror test on their own?
Fafita is one of those people, and I think Fafita maybe goes down his own avenue occasionally, but he does it because he wants to run over people. He wants to prove he's better than them. But I struggle to see who's following his lead. You know, I don't see who's going with him. I don't see the next tackle, and that's why Anakin stood out for me. He just came in and he just ran it in like he had no regard for himself.
Yeah.
And I just didn't see that from the forwards. There's a problem there.
Presumably, Anakin has hunger because his long-term future isn't secure.
Possibly. Yeah, well, to be fair, none of their futures are secure.
No, but some of them have signed long-term contracts
that will be invalid if they come bottom of the Super League.
And some of them will pick up other clubs.
Of course they will.
But Anakin is trying to prove himself, isn't he? He still hasn't nailed down a regular first-team slot at Wakefield. So he comes on with a point to prove.
I just look.
They need more players with a point to prove.
The players,
is that it? Are they in the comfort zone? Do they have, like Gary said, have they fallen in love with themselves? Have they?
Well, this is where the coach has told them, well, advises them to avoid social media, because when they win, they're the best people in the history of the world.
Yeah, but that's any team. Any team.
Well, they don't listen.
St Helens fans have been getting laid into their team because they rested a load of players and they lost the
Wakefield fan base at the moment is toxic. Michael Carter being abused in the car park, he says, after the game.
Did he?
Yeah, tweeted it out while he's with his kids.
No, that's disgusting.
The whole Ryan Hampshire thing, which is such a... I can't get my head around it. I can't understand. You know, well done to Witness yesterday playing 11 or however many academy players,
Thank
but we all know that if they had money, they'd spend it on crap players, as everyone does.
Well, that's the
And it's the same
that's the
thing.
laughable thing, isn't
And I was-
it? We all laud it, and people will go, "Oh, it's great, it's great." Oh, hey, biscuits
But
as well.
it's the same. It's the same at Wakefield. Ryan Hampshire is a good player. I'm not saying he's not, but he is not the panacea.
He's
that
not
should
the
all
Messiah. He's
Wakefield
occasionally
problems.
a very naughty boy.
Just because he's from Normanton and he loves the club and his dad's posts on social media how great he is, it doesn't mean he's the great player Wakefield need. And whether he stays or goes, and look, we all know the reason why or what's happened. I think it's fairly well public known because it's all on bloody Facebook. He's been offered a deal. It's worth less than he and his people think he's worth.
Mhm.
And the club are saying, well, that's your lot. That's how it works in sport. Now, whether the club are proven to be wrong 3, 4, 5 years down the line, look, I'll give you a list of people who've left that.
Well,
Ben Westwood, Gareth Ellis,
let me step in there. Apologies, I'm eating my biscuit.
Nathan Wood.
There is another team interested in him,
Yeah,
and that
sure.
other team have offered less than Wakefield offered initially. So what does that tell you?
Somebody's got the valuation.
But here's where the supporters are just fixated on this one thing. Better players have been at that club and left in the past that have been far better than Ryan Hampshire when we've been in worse positions.
But presumably
I
that's
just don't
all
understand
for next season. Somebody has got to galvanise whoever is pulling on that shirt before the end of this season. Otherwise, it's not going to matter anyway.
Well, get rid of the coach and bring in John Keir. Why bring in John Keir? For crying out loud, I don't want to say, I can't say. Bringing Jason Demetri. Why? Because he just used to play for the club. David Fenn used to play for Leeds. That worked out well.
With 6 games to go.
Yeah.
Oh,
Kevin Chinfield's got a job at Leeds. He's doing well, isn't he? And Jamie Peacock, they're all doing great jobs at Leeds. Peacock at OKR did a great job. It's getting an old player because they were good. It's nonsense.
What about?
Nonsense. Get
you
Neil
know-
Fox on the pitch. He was bloody good.
I tell you what, if you're looking to maybe freshen it up, and if they can't do it with the players, we know somebody's available for 6 games. What about Sean Wayne for 6 games? Not take over.
But does that
To be
undermine
quite-
Chris Chester?
No, well,
No.
what I'm saying is here.
You can't do that.
No.
No.
We talk about freshening up with different, the players. I'm not saying.
But that just undermines.
Well, what I'm saying is here, the players themselves, certainly, now, the way that it is, and the way Chris has questioned his players, he's not getting a response from his players from there. So just...
Does that tell you
just to
he
freshen
doesn't
up-
know he doesn't know what the problem is? Does that suggest that? Is there an element of the players think he hasn't dropped so and so, he hasn't dropped so and so?
Well, let me just say this here.
Is it just an amazing coincidence at Catalans that they dropped a player who we felt was underperforming? They
Right.
drop him and they win. He
Well,
comes back in.
not so much
and they
underperforming,
lose.
but the balance of the team was wrong with him
Yeah,
in it.
yeah,
But,
But also as well, what would have happened at Catalans, and I'm sure it would happen at Leeds, and I'm sure it would happen at Wakefield, because I've been in dressing rooms, and when you think to yourself, well, he's not playing that well enough, why is he still playing? And when it lifts everybody, because all the players will go, you know what, yeah, he deserves that from there. So now, we will start performing, because we're going to be a lot happier without him
And
playing from there.
also, if you see someone get dropped, you think, I might be getting dropped next week, and I don't want to get dropped, so I need to up my game.
Well,
unless they've got too many players on established contracts who it doesn't matter how
that
they
shouldn't make
perform.
any difference.
It shouldn't, but I'm just they've done a lot of really good business.
I think a lot of the
Wakefield
Wakey players are on. I think there are certainly bonuses for them when they play, etc. So I don't see that being an impact. I don't know. Look,
I mean, they could go to St Helens and win.
Yes,
They've had a
exactly.
week off.
And look, while we're all here going, ooh, they won't win any of those games. Someone at the bottom will win a game they shouldn't win. Yeah, London did it against St Helens.
London were fantastic this week, because what got lost in all the furore about Saints playing whoever they want to play, and we talked about it a bit before you got here, do not understand the Irish. They've earned the right to pick whatever team they like. Whether the pitch was a factor, whether injuries, they could have had 10 injuries and they would have picked the same team. It's just, there is not an issue with who they pick. They're 10 points clear, they can do what they like. But the fact is, London still had to beat that enthusiastic St Helens team.
It could have gone the other way. And how big a disaster would it have been for them if they didn't?
And there were a lot of young kids that were very keen to, say to, Justin Holbrook, even if he's only here for another 6 weeks, if you've got any injuries, I'm the guy to bring in.
Yeah.
And London could have lost that game, but they played really, really well. They didn't just win it; they won it easily.
Absolutely, and some of the players were hopefully going to put a marker down. But just going back to Wakefield here now, and from Chris Chester's point of view, right? Chris, before that game against Wigan, it's been arranged where they're having how many days off, and we know that some of the players are away on holiday and they're not coming back in. Thursday by all accounts, right? So, if I was that coach from there, what Chris Chester has done is put the trust in the players, right, to look after themselves, come back hopefully fresh and ready for this dogfight and this battle in the next 6 games. So the players themselves now, right, they should be saying, you know what, Chris, the way that he's treating us from a point of view with the management staff on there, he's kept true to his word from there, he's put his trust in us, so now we need to start paying that trust back and give the bloke what he
goes back to what Richard said.
Gives him what he deserves.
What the hell are they doing putting their holidays on Instagram?
Because I don't care that they're on holiday.
No, and most
Just
rugby
don't
league
tell me.
players who are not playing this weekend will be having a few days off to get away from the sport.
Don't tell me.
So now the players
But
need
they're opening themselves up, aren't they?
correct, but it's payback time now from them players to give what Chris Chester deserves, and that's a trust and a performance. Not just going to St Helens, because they won't get a win at St Helens, because Saints, you know, they'll beat Halifax this week quite easy in the Challenge Cup. But then what St Helens will be looking for, Phil, they'll be looking to wrap up the minor premiership, whatever they call it, you know, for the hood cap. You know, so they'll be looking
Which they could do.
That's what we're saying. So their motivation will be making sure, we'll get this wrapped up and then we'll move on.
So
they're at home from there. They'll be
they can
celebrating.
celebrate getting to Wembley.
They'll be
By the way, we've got a presentation. So it's
They can celebrate 2 things from
I
there.
think
But
the
now
other
for the
thing-
Wakefield players, they need to. It's payback time for Chris Chester.
I think the other thing that might happen regarding St Helens is I'm getting a sneaky feeling that after this semi-final, assuming it goes the way everybody thinks it's going to go, we'll hear that Justin Holbrook is leaving at the end of the season.
Can I come on to that in a moment? Because I just want to say something about Wigan, because Matt says we haven't spoken about Wigan enough. He also says, how is Liam Farrell not in the England squad, especially when Stevie Ward is, which is a very fair point.
When I heard that comment from the esteemed Wayne Bennett that said England hadn't got any back rowers, I just thought, you do not watch Super League, because Farrell, Bateman at Wigan, to name 2. I think Farrell, Gary mentioned it a lot on Friday. We've watched Wigan the last 2 home games, have been exceptional, and Farrell has been wonderful. Getting fit, and again, he's another one, I think, without being rude, he's the Wigan's Danny Kerman. He'll have played when he shouldn't have played a million times for Sean Wayne. Sean Wayne will look at him, or would have looked at him, and he'd go, yeah, I'll play. And he would have known, when he puts that shirt on, he'd get exactly what he wanted.
Which is exactly the kind of player that Wakefield haven't got at the moment.
Yeah, so Farrell for me.
Oh,
if it said, Farrell's playing for England, I'd go, alright, yeah, great.
Well, on his form, he deserves it. He did deserve to be in that squad because he's injury free, and do you know what? He's found that he had a pace. But also another thing what Farrell's got, he's got a smile back on his face. He's got the enjoyment back of him. You can see that.
But what I really liked about Wigan, and it might spark somebody like Farrell, is the young kids, particularly in the forwards, that are coming in are doing such a good job. Partington at the moment, and he's
they play tough as well, don't they? They play tough.
Smithies.
Tough kids.
That kid who come off the bench.
How hard?
Oh, boy, have you seen the size of him?
Well, you saw him playing for England schoolboys against Australia. He was the best player on the field in that season. He's a massive prospect.
A word, I know we're going off Wigan. The boy Wilson at Huddersfield came on the other day. First thing he did, smashed into Masoi. Masoi went and had a go at him. He smashed into Gar, but he had a go at him, and he's. I don't know. He has got it. He has got it. I like him.
Well, that OKR forward who came as well, because he wasn't going to take it back. He gave 2 or 3 penalties away, didn't he? The young kid.
Owen Harrison.
Yeah, he gave a few. But I tell you what, he was like that. Right, I'm ready for this. I think he wanted it all bust up. To be honest with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
I just think he's indiscipline, as in he gave away.
That's inexperience. He maybe a bit overcharged. You know himself, a bit hyped up from there.
I just thought to see a young kid said, I'm not bothered who you are.
Exactly.
I don't care who you are, how big you are.
Yeah,
the best one I've seen this year is Morgan Smithies. I think he has, since the minute he came into that Wigan team, he's looked at home. And it was Friday night again, Thursday night, they couldn't play Sean O'Loughlin. Of course they missed him. He's exactly the kind of leader again that Wakefield don't have at the moment. But him not being there has given Smithies the chance to blossom, and he's almost starting to fill that role.
The
No.
big thing is simplicity.
It has got the handling.
It's simplicity now. It's simple for Wigan. All the trash now has gone. It's all finished. Everybody knows where the rope is. Everybody's pulling that same rope now, and I tell you, they've got a smile on their faces. Everybody's starting to play to the best of their ability. They know when the business end of the season is coming. They know when to peak from there. And I tell you what, nobody will want to be meeting Wigan in that
Hull
top 5.
Wigan on the Thursday after the semis is a huge game.
Can I ask a question about that? Sorry, you wanted
No.
Can I ask a question about that, right? Why the hell
Yeah.
are Hull playing on a Thursday night, right? When
They've had a week
8
off.
teams
Yeah.
have had 2 weeks off.
Absolutely.
Right? And is this not another example, right? And is it the week the football season starts?
Championship, is it? Yeah.
Championship.
Yeah, championship
Yeah.
starts, yeah.
So
That
why
weekend,
is there
yeah.
not a game? And the fans are, oh, bloody Wednesday, not that Wednesday, not that Thursday, not Wednesdays. Have a week of Super League before the Premier League kicks off. Wednesday night, 2 teams haven't played for 10 days. Bonus, they get another 10 days before they've got to play again. Oh no, we'll give them 2 weeks off and then they'll play again twice in a week. Madness. Play 2 games on Wednesday. Those 4 teams that are playing in the semi-final should be playing on the following Sunday.
Yeah.
No
arguments.
punishment. They've been all have been
Yeah,
punished. They've been
absolutely.
good.
Absolutely.
If they'd have got dumped out of the cup,
They could have been in Malta.
yeah,
And just imagine if Hull had been one of the 6 teams at the bottom of the league.
yeah. It's just,
But
I just thought-
it could have been
Yeah.
costing them.
Well, you'd argue then would they have been picked for the game because the game it's a big game at the top of the table.
Yeah,
But why?
But if
why?
they'd have been in a similarly big game
I
at the
just
bottom of
don't.
the table,
As
I
a
don't get it.
sport, I don't
Well,
know why we're
And
making that happen.
it's not the same, but I mentioned it before you came in. What the hell Hunslet playing Whitehaven for at the same time as the Challenge Cup semi-finals? You know, that's a big game in League One. Whitehaven
know.
are top. Hunslet need to beat them to
Yeah.
what the hell is
don't
that
know.
game being played at 3
I
o'clock
don't
on
know.
Saturday?
I don't know.
Why is any more fixtures on the Challenge Cup semi-final weekend
we're
anyway?
just dense.
Why is it?
Sometimes we are our own worst enemies.
Yeah.
I know we need to
Stuff
be
like
positive
that.
about anything, but that is clearly wrong.
Yeah. That's,
As indeed is
That's
Hull playing Wigan on the Thursday night.
it's
wrong.
rubbish. Yeah, it is. It's
Don't
rubbish.
forget, for all those viewers who've tuned in now for the Man of Steel thing, that's cancelled now
Yeah, it's
because we don't know. They're not telling us. Unless Scoey's doing it one of the games soon, he'll tell us
Did you do
Right.
Leeds and Hull?
secretly.
No, I did.
No, don't tell us. We're not allowed to know.
You're not allowed
We're
to
not
know.
allowed to
Why-
know.
why-
They'll kick you off the panel.
Yeah.
No, I won't give you. I won't tell you the points. Can I not tell you the game what I did?
No.
I won't tell you the points.
No.
Oh, can I not?
Don't
Oh,
tell us. Don't tell us.
Unless we can use it for okay.
Right.
For anyone listening, it was North Wales against Doncaster.
West Wales against
Yeah.
Coventry.
Yeah. And he gave 3 points to a bloke from Coventry.
What basically
Gosh.
journalism these days is reading Twitter and stealing people's words. That's what everyone does. That's what these 2-bit rugby league websites do, which is why 2-bit rugby league people get some kind of exposure. I'm one of them. Derek Clark, our former colleague, remember Radio Yorkshire? Oh, the glory days. He's been at the press conference today because he works for a radio station over at the other side of Ills,
Yeah.
or the bright side, as some of our listeners would say, our viewers. And he's been speaking to Justin Holbrook, so I've stolen his quotes on Twitter. I don't want it to drag on. It's not good for anybody. I don't want it to be about me. The club have been fantastic, and it'll likely be about a week or 2, and we'll know. Which I think tells you everything you need to know
Well, there you
about
go.
what's happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I haven't signed yet, but I'm going.
think-
I might
I
be
think
going.
also Mike Rush's statement last week when he said, "We'll leave it entirely up to Justin."
Yeah, look, the
I
guy's
think
done
we-
a great job.
he's
He's
done
done
a
a great
magnificent
job,
job.
and he might well finish winning everything.
And he has already won a trophy, even though some
Yeah.
people don't think he has.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we do.
see,
Of
Sean,
course it counts.
Sean's been on. Sean's been on. He says,
Only if you win the treble, it counts.
No, it counts.
Or the double.
Go on.
You go on about consistency
hang
more
on,
than
leave from the
anybody
treble.
else.
They've released a bloody film about it.
Do-
You don't
your
have to watch
key
for
word,
months.
your favourite
What
word
about
is
special
consistency.
Mm.
Therefore, the League Leader Shield must have kudos because it means you're the most consistent team.
All
You
right.
can't devalue it.
Yeah, all right, yeah, okay, all right. Well, did they win the grand final? Well,
It's
are
a-
they classed as
it's
the
a
champions of
different competition.
2018?
No, it's a different competition. You can't devalue the League Leader Shield.
Does it mean, what's it mean then?
Unless you drop it.
It means you've been the most consistent team throughout the season.
He's Sean.
You've got to grow a pair if you want to ring the
Abs-
grand final.
Yeah, absolutely, but still, you know, we're still not classed as champions. So,
Well,
you know,
they're not.
we
They're,
can-
they're cast
we can
as
debate,
league
we can debate
leaders.
this all what we want. It doesn't
Go on,
mean
Rich.
it.
Jump
Go
on.
on. Carry on.
You're not going to get
No,
on.
we've been told off for speaking over each other.
Who's told us off?
Someone on the iTunes.
It's called debate.
Sean says, Sean says 2 things. Philly scraping the bottom of the things to complain about barrel. No, I don't think so. And Saints disrespecting the comp and the clubs at the bottom by resting players yesterday. St Helens top of the table, 10 points clear. Wakefield Trinity have lost to London twice. Leeds have lost to London. I was there, it was hilarious. Hull KR lost to London on the 10th.
Wigan lost to London.
London haven't lost to London because you can't beat yourself.
Warrington lost to London.
No.
Catalans lost to London.
So the three teams above London have all lost to London. Whoever goes down, brackets, whoever finishes bottom, it is their own fault
Yeah.
for being crap.
Why is it disrespectful?
It's not, is it?
It's funny, the only people that are moaning about it, although actually some Saints fans who really do need to give their head a shake, is the people that are at the bottom. And if they weren't rubbish, they wouldn't be worried about it. I don't hear anyone from Catalans moaning about it, or from Castleford moaning about it, or Salford, the team looking up.
More disrespectful to any competition is a team who pleads poverty won you and then signs other players within 12 months despite having the same people in charge. That's disrespectful. But putting kids in the team who the coach who you all want to keep and has done a good job and has led them to 20 wins from 22 games before yesterday, that coach decides these people are good enough to play in my team.
Let's just be fair, right? You don't get to play at St Helens at whatever level it is unless you're very good. Right? There aren't many kids there going, oh yeah,
we'll give you a
bit
try.
rubbish really, we'll just give him a chance.
Another.
No,
Put Ray Frisch
don't
on.
work like that.
They
Don't
give
work
Ray-
like that. I'm picking they get the pick of the crop pretty much, and to be in that crop you've got to be
Yeah,
pretty
and do you know one as well? Credit to Danny Ward, he would have been saying to his players, hey listen, if you'd have performed to your best of your ability, if you'd have the right attitude because yes, St Helens are
It was
best
very tight for 40 minutes,
yeah,
wasn't it?
exactly, you know, but Danny Ward would be saying to his players, hey listen, you make sure you give these lads the full respect what they deserve because these, exactly what you just said, Mark, these will be quality players. So to say, St Helens don't just say, alright, we're a bit short this week or we're looking to give some trialists, come and join us for this week. No, they will be quality youngsters, so Danny Ward would have making sure his players, the right attitude, the right purpose, the right enthusiasm to get the 2 points and fully deserved, and they would have had to be on the best of their ability for the 80 minutes to beat this quality St Helens
I
side.
would venture that you've been in a team where a lot of the star names have been out and a lot of kids have come in and been given a chance and they've won.
Absolutely. Yeah, because they want to put a marker down. They want to make an impression. And if it happens again, these are a few injuries, knocking on the door, yeah, hey, can you remember how we played a couple of weeks ago? I can handle it. Yeah, that'll do for me.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying someone moaning that Leeds haven't spent money on a coach and spent it on a stadium, which is, actually a thing that will last for more than 6 months. But there you go.
A bit of remortgage that to pay off all the former coaches soon.
Tom says, rubbish, Phil. You ask the players if they just won the League Leaders' Shield and nothing else, they'll deem that as a failure. Well, that's wrong.
Well, then that's the fault of the game then, and that's
Yeah,
why there
it
was
is.
such an
Tell them they
issue
might get
with
banned.
Toronto and Widnes fans booing it yesterday.
Here's Karen moaning about the away end at Headingley. We know it's crap and we know the reasons why it's crap. Everyone knows this.
Can't do anything about it.
Unless they buy all the houses and then you'll moan the opposite.
You are allowed, by the way,
Sorry.
you are allowed to buy a ticket for other parts of the ground.
I would say
It's
that-
not so much the houses, it's the public access way underneath the Western Terraces.
I know it's expensive to go watch Leeds, but at least you're in a modern stadium.
It's a
rather
great
than
stadium.
a dump.
It's a great
By
stadium.
the way, and this is where rugby league journalism's great, isn't it? Because people just read Andrew Chalmers' column, or Judith, as I understand, he's now called hilariously.
Well, Andrew Chalmers, who used to criticise Wakefield for saying that they were going to move out of Bellevue, and now he's saying that Bradford are going to move out of Oxford.
Right, so why is no one picking up the obvious reason why they're doing this? They're not going to move to play at Bradford Park Avenue, are they? Which I don't know how many people Bradford Park Avenue holds, but I'm guessing it's not 10,000 or whatever. They're doing it to try and get the rents down, aren't they?
Yeah, of course they are.
So why is no
Yeah.
one saying
Of course
that?
they are.
Why do people just power the people? That's all they do.
Who do they pay the rents in?
RFL, don't they?
Oh, right. Be interesting to see their accounts.
You can ask them on Wednesday.
Probably, yeah. Good question.
As Paul says, if Hull KR, Leeds, Huddersfield or Wakey go down, then we have to play. It is true. Robert says, another bad decision not to tell the Man of Steel results. No one will bother now instead of it being interesting.
No, I don't think that's irrelevant.
That's how they do the Dally M's in Australia, and they uncover those later rounds in the course of that evening where they crown the...
That falls into mourning for the sake of mourning.
Is anyone that
Who's
bothered?
ever sent that in? That's just mourning.
Is anyone, unless someone from your team wins it.
I'd rather not. I'd rather not. No,
Do
I'd
you
rather
care?
get it
I'm not
announced
sorry
at the
if
end.
you won it. But apart from that, if
We have won one Man of
yeah,
Steel trophy.
if a
in
player
the
from your
studio.
team doesn't win it, unless
Yeah.
you can break the embargo, hilariously. Then no one cares. Are we that bothered who wins awards? Apart from just a moan because your team hasn't won it. Oh, my team didn't win Club of the Year. That kind of thing.
Come on, what else is that? Seriously, a lot of miserable people.
People still
out there,
yeah,
or is this just your info?
No, it's just me, I think. People still moaning that people were booing Ralph Rimmer. Don't boo Ralph. He's not the problem.
I would have had more respect for Widnes fans that booed if they'd, I don't know, come up with a banner or something that says
Rimmer out.
yeah, or something like that. I don't. But there was nothing, was there? So I reckon this is honestly right. I reckon half the people who booed yesterday would have no idea why they booed, or would have a different opinion why they booed to the bloke stood next to them.
Boo. Boo the
Pathetic.
foreigners.
Pathetic.
They've got no Canadians in their team. Boo, boo.
Yeah.
Boo the Canadians.
Honestly, it's like
John Wilkins got a podcast. Boo. That was me. Boo. Boo. Get off, John Wilkins. He's on 2 podcasts. Bloody hell. What's going on? Truman is back, says
He
Hollow
is.
Slade.
He is.
Because Cass are back now. Warrington are gone. Warrington are gone.
Cast
Let's
I'll
call
tell
off
you what,
Warrington.
when, as the legend has predicted
Not
this
there
week,
yet.
and I'll be joining him, I've been saying this, I think I've said it for quite a while, and I've had a few quid, it's alright Tony, I'm alright, on Hull, to win the cup. I think if Warrington lose this weekend, they are under intense pressure.
Warrington will get beat this weekend.
Yeah, but we'll talk about that in a bit. We'll talk about that in a bit, because I want to
Well,
talk
if
about...
they do, they haven't even achieved what they did last year.
Exactly.
If they lose this weekend, they've gone backwards.
Yeah, despite spending more money.
Cass are back.
Cass are back.
27-18. I tell you what, John Davison he made it easy, didn't he? He just went 5-5-5-5-5-5, couple of sixes.
Rich, can I ask a question? How many, the Wakefield players, how many did they get? The majority, please. And who was given the points?
The points were given by Steve Martin, and he gave everyone 5.
Steve Martin, Monty on playing
That's
trains
it,
and
yeah.
automobiles.
He gave everyone 5, but Ryan Hampshire got 6 because he's got a couple of tries. Reece Lynn, because he's the new Ellery Henry.
Loosely.
Kalepi Tanganoa, Anthony England, James Batchelor, Joe Rundle, George King, Chris Anakin and Paulie got 4. He's just arbitrary and pointless. He just fills
Yeah, I think that Anakin one's a disgrace.
Which is
It is an absolute
absolutely,
disgrace.
absolutely.
Yeah. Steve Martin, you're a disgrace for giving Anakin 4. Yeah, I've said it.
Oh,
Crystal bought the paper, going, I had a good game. Oh, that's me, sorry.
got 4.
Yeah, they bought the
Steve
paper,
Martin.
going, oh, sorry, yeah, it is actually. Yeah. So I must have got at least a 6 this week. 4? 4?
I'll be able to go in and renegotiate the new contract on the back of a 7.
Yeah, I got a 4, I got a 7, I got a 7.
Well, you and Anakin, the legends give you a 7, don't worry about that, lad.
They should have them all up at the end of the season, divide them by however many games they've played, and then give an award out for that. That should be the... You know, the League Express has got the thingy bob. What's it called?
Albert
Goldthorpe. League Weekly should do a random numbers selected by people at games award. Give them a big number 6 or something. I don't know if they've got the budget at League Weekly to do it or not, but Matt says, I've got no problem with any team resting loads of players before a major semi-final, as long as it makes it more likely Leeds will go down. Cheers, man.
Yeah, but Leeds play Saints the week before Wembley.
Leeds are staying up, we're not going down. No,
It's getting ever closer to
but
happening.
when they finish bottom, they're
Why couldn't they just lost by 4 at the weekend? Why?
Toby's off 3.
3?
Yes, Sneak.
Yeah, 3. Where's Mark Sneak with the drop goal? I thought he was
It's not
going
like
to
Sky giving him
It'd
credit.
been better for me if he'd missed that kick at the end.
We all thought he was going to go for a drop goal with the last play of the first half.
I tell you what, he kicks a beauty as well from 45 metres out. Absolute peach. Yeah.
Mind you, Martin's kicking was
Are
pretty.
you now his new best friend?
Only on Radio 1 side.
Oh, yeah.
Play to the crowd.
He's going to turn up next week with a Mark Sneak shirt on, kissing the
A
mask.
mask. A mask.
Oh, I've been asked when I'm going to wear my cash shirt because I said I'd wear
Listen, fellas, you know if it's good, it's good. If it's crap,
Did ya?
it's crap. It ain't getting
I
no
said
spirit.
Wakefield again in the top 5 and I
Yeah.
can't finish above. Well, you know what I like about social
I did bet
media?
on that, that was
That
good.
some people deem that I'm that important enough that they go through my tweets from like a year ago and go, oh, you said this. I'm like, I don't care. I really don't care.
Hey, listen, man. I've had some stick from Swinton fans this weekend.
What, both of them?
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
Mr. Cameron there?
because I said Swinton had finished bottom.
No, they had nearly 1,000 out of the
Yeah,
weekend.
but I've had stick this weekend from Swinton fans because I said they'd finished bottom. Do you know what? Where have the Swinton fans been all season? And to be honest with you, I couldn't care less what you're saying about me because we're all entitled to an opinion and hindsight's a wonderful thing. But what
They
I
are
was-
on a great run.
Yeah, but what I'm going to say, Mark, and well done, the way that you're going, Swinton, well done to Stuart Littler. on the job what you're doing. So
And
well
Andy
done.
Maisie, the chairman, who's kept it going. when it would've been
Absolutely.
easy.
So well done to the chairman at Swindon, well done to the coach at Swindon, well done to the players. But please, you Swindon fans, please, just use a bit of common sense.
If you're a big fan of my favourite radio station, Radio Leeds, and there's a great column by Martin Calder pretty much all about that in the latest 4020. And a great line about Manchester, which you'll probably at the end. Toby says, question for the panel. It's like question time. It's going on the left of the table.
Who's going to be the new prime minister?
Would Sean Wayne be a good fit at Warrington? And who do you think? And do you think he'd go to Warrington?
At Warrington? Why are they talking about Price being sacked?
Oh, the rubbish now, aren't they, Warrington? Price out.
Hey? Talking about Price?
No, I don't think.
No,
Keane
I don't think
fits
Wayne
with
would go
the-
to
There isn't a fit there, I don't
I don't think Wayne would go to another Lancashire club. I don't, honestly.
No, I don't.
Leeds is his fit. I just got Leeds is Sean Wayne.
Alright.
Gemma Carter says she's got the most stick on Twitter this week because she read a book instead of watching Wigan Wakefield, which in fairness I was tempted to watch the netball
You know what? I would have read the book if it had been there.
Yeah,
Certainly in the first half.
tempted to put the netball on.
We're gonna go in all right, and everyone goes, "Oh, they lost to Saints, they're no good." Let's see when the money's down.
Yeah, when the business
what
end comes.
happens.
They haven't beaten
Yeah.
any of the
I know
teams.
Loughlin's back and Greenwood's back and Burgess is
Yeah.
back. When the A-boys there, when they're there.
And they want to send Williams out in the manner in which he...
Absolutely, and these guys
he
want to be in
serves.
the trenches with each other because, yes, this is us. This is our time of year.
And it's our
this
title.
Is us, and
You're not
we-
having it back.
Absolutely, we know what it's all about.
Yeah.
Anyway, I will wear a cash shirt, just someone has to send me one and I'll wear it on the show, I'm not bothered. Well, I wouldn't say I'd do something if I didn't want to do it.
All right.
I'm not fussed.
Can't one of your lady friends send you money?
What lady?
The cast ladies. Oh, you're well in
I
with the
don't
cast
know
ladies.
no, I don't know any cast players.
Don't you?
You
Hey,
do.
Rich, did you find
There's
out?
one in particular.
Rich, did you?
Cast.
Rich, have you gone back on the quote I said before the season started? If Hull made the 5, I've
Not found it yet.
I'm getting into a bath of mushy peas. I
Someone
keep getting
actually,
reminded.
someone sent me a tweet and I went.
Keep getting
I
reminded.
actually said there's no chance Hull will make the top 5, and they screenshotted it and went, "Still think this is going to happen?" I'm like,
I'm
So
getting
be it.
reminded that I need to be getting into
So
a bath of mushy peas. So bachelors, if you're listening, if you're watching, I'm going to need plenty of cans if you don't mind. So Hull are making the 5.
or Iran, if you're listening, make a political statement, then maybe you can do us a favour at the same time.
People
That's a bit harsh. Jeez. Eh?
reserves are back, which is bad news for Featherstone. And then
You just sit there, don't you? You
Well,
just sit there and make random comments that are
Lob the
gonna.
odd grenade in.
Yeah, you've changed, Richard. You've changed.
I don't care anymore.
I remember when you used to just sit in the corner and not say
Well, I
anything.
think what happens now, you have to say controversial things for people to pay attention to you. Ash Golding,
I think your persona
Will
is taking over.
Will Dagger 7, Cameron King 7,
Will Dagger, is he at Featherstone?
Josh Walters 8.
I thought he
Josh
was
Walters
at Hull, yeah.
Can't get in.
Wellington
Yeah,
Albert.
well,
Wellington
I-
Albert got an 8 yesterday, get him in the Leeds team.
How many teams can you have dual registration with? I thought you could only have one.
Oh, unless he's on loan.
Oh, right, okay. Right.
So reserves
But
are back.
the interesting
That's
thing
the- that's
about
the other thing I'll
reserves
solve,
is
everything.
what impact will that have on Championship and League One?
Was
teams?
Leeds the only club who voted against it? There was only 11, but did Leeds vote against it?
No,
There was
I
11
don't
clubs,
think
weren't
anybody voted
there?
in.
The others,
No,
11
No,
Catalan-
Catalan
Catalan
didn't get a vote
Oh,
because
did they? Oh, right,
they're
okay.
not in the. They
Oh,
can't
right,
register
right,
the team.
Yeah, when I saw it on Sing Facts,
No,
it said
no,
11
it
clubs.
was
you know,
unanimous.
so-
Yeah.
All right, okay.
We need to talk about a couple of the teams at the bottom.
Mm.
We need to talk about Leeds, Hull KR, and Huddersfield.
Mm.
Where do you want to start?
Simple game plan for Huddersfield, and Wolford has put extra pressure on the players by saying we've got 6 grand finals. They stuck to that simple game plan, and it worked for them.
When they execute that
Yeah.
game plan, you know, like Lehman coming off the bench.
Yeah, it's pretty smart,
Just
isn't
change
it?
the game. Got them going forward. Then it's not a criticism about them O'Brien.
Mhm.
It just gives them a little bit of a different
When
way of
Lehman
playing.
comes on, Gaskell becomes a different player, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You know, because he
How good is he, by the way? Running, he takes it in like a prop, runs at the thing,
Oh,
but he wants to get through
goes
the
to
line,
line,
doesn't
Gaskell. But again, when I talk about the halfbacks, you know, Gaskell, he lets Lehman do what he wants from there, and then Gaskell starts saying no. So you see the bettering from there, and yeah, the game plan what he set up from there put extra pressure on his players. The players got a reaction from that extra pressure from there, and they fully deserved the win. But Ulkis and Rovers, after that performance, I was thinking, well, when you looked at the way they beat Hull, when you looked at the way they beat Leeds, and then the performance at Wigan and the performance on Friday night, my question for Ulkis, our players is, obviously they're lacking a quality hooker, you know, because Danny Andy's not up to it, Tommy Lee for me is not up to it now, so they're lacking that quality hooker from Parcell. But the question for the OKR players is, can they handle this pressure? Because there was a massive crowd there on Friday. Whether that was a bit of an injury as well, the expectation after that great win against Leeds, can the OKR players handle the pressure?
I said earlier in the year, and I got hammered for it, there was a bit of a smell of death about Hull KR, as in, it was almost like, we've been here before and it's happening again and no one knows what to do about it. And then they brought in Tony Smith, great appointment. He has had an impact. The way they played at Leeds was brilliant. But yeah, how can they be so bad this
The
week?
week
The strange
after.
thing was that tactically they were so different. Because in Leeds it was all about speed and turning the ball inside.
But yeah, they've got Atkin, who, alright, he might be weak in the middle defensively. You know, he's not a big tackler, is he? But he seemed to make it. I'd like him. I don't know. I thought Tony got it wrong, and I did.
They've got to play Atkin at hooker because
Yeah, I think they have.
you know, to me, Danny and Tommy, they're just not up to this level anymore. You know, but they've got to play Atkin at hooker.
I think unfortunately, and again, understandably, because he came back from a very serious injury and made a massive impact the minute he came back. Didn't think Adam Quinlan was as effective as he had been in a couple of games before, and he is such an outlet for them from full back. He was quiet.
Yeah, but it was the timing of the runs and the passes. It all seemed.
All the players were the same. Maguire was off, and the praise I give Weller Araki over the last few weeks, he was certainly off. Masai, he got frustrated. He gave some silly penalties away from there. We just, again, the performance is what they're putting, beating Hull and beating Leeds.
It's almost like he took everything out of them.
Is it? Gary makes a good point. Lost at London, tight game, one that the pressure was on. Need to win, lost this week.
Absolutely.
All right, they won at Leeds. But that performance has been very much the exception to the rule, hasn't it? You know, they went and played. And what it did for me, and you lads won't like this, it showed Leeds are actually very good. They went and played, they went with the confidence, we're going to run them off their feet, and that's what they did. I just wonder when they do go a bit cagey, that they haven't got the players to play that way.
I think
they need to go out and say,
just
we're going to blow you away.
Yeah,
If we drop the ball, we drop the ball.
Yeah.
If we get beat, we get beat. But I tell you what it is, we're going to score 3 tries in the opening 20 minutes, and then we'll let you worry about it.
Yeah.
And they didn't go out and do that. They didn't go out and do that.
Is Gaskell's improved form down to the fact that Brough isn't there anymore?
Maybe. Is it down to the fact that Simon Wolford's saying to him, right, you're running this team?
Yeah.
Just express
Well,
yourself.
you get
Go
when
Which
you
you
want it,
can't
you get
do
it.
when
play
Dan
what-
Brough is on
play
the
what you
field.
see.
Maybe.
Play what you see from there. But again, when I talk about a halfback just letting somebody else take charge, that's what he's doing when the hooker comes on. Lehman, when Lehman comes on, because you look at Adam O'Brien. Adam O'Brien's a Danny Outman, isn't he? Because it'll
It's workman-like.
he'll attack everything what he moves. He'll do the little skills from dummy half, and his service is good. He doesn't have that sort of dynamism, does he?
He's not going to race 60 minutes, is he, like
Correct.
Lehman can?
His variation is not that good. He's what Danny Outman is from there, but then when Lehman comes on, he brings that extra spark, he brings that extra awareness and vision from that round there. And you can see Gaskell thinking, I'm liking it because you're getting the opposition on the backward foot, and that's when Gaskell comes into it.
Yeah.
Gaskell's a quality player when Lehman comes back on.
Every team at the bottom has had a really poor performance over the last couple of weeks. You know, even Huddersfield at Wakefield was shocking.
Well, I did that thing the other week. There was only Catalans and St Helens had won back-to-back games. Everyone else had not won back-to-back games.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, the issue for every team at the bottom.
Yeah.
The reason they're at the bottom is they can't string 2 performances
That's
together.
it. That's exactly right. And you know, now we talk about you putting a bit of pressure on top. It just makes it.
Well, Hookyard's next game, you know, because I'm going there myself the 4th of August, it's Cass at home. How much pressure is on
Cass
that?
all of a sudden are
Cass are hitting a bit of form.
Yeah.
They're big players, as you mentioned, Truman from there. Also, too, I noticed Max Shane got a point from there, so he seems to be coming back to a bit
Well,
of
he's
form.
banned
He's
for
banned,
again.
yes.
Oh, is he banned from the game?
What's
Is
he
it
done?
right? What's
He did three things, but he was banned for one of them, I can't remember.
All right, but anyway,
He's
so
not playing in the next game.
the pressure again for Hulkier is back on. Can they handle that pressure?
How good was it, by the way, to see Huddersfield's backline? Pretty much home-built backline.
Yeah.
That's the way to go.
You know.
I think moving McIntosh, although he's still capable of making a mistake, McIntosh in the centre just seemed a
He played at fullback the other night, didn't he? Pretty much, and he made a couple of howlers. He needs to get
when
rid of
he's
that.
when he's in the centre, I think he's a different player
Yeah.
because you can make the odd mistake, and at fullback you're exposed. It costs the team.
They seem to like the other senior boy, don't they?
Yeah.
At the back.
But the try that McIntosh scored from the kick was magnificent.
he's a supreme athlete. You know what I mean? I think if
He's
they
got
got a
touch
really
of Jake
good
Farmer
fullback,
about him.
yeah, if they got a really good fullback and let him, like you said, play him in the centre. Wardle, Jake Wall, I think he's a hell of a player.
Yeah, he is, yeah.
I think he's like another Gilda. He might not quite. I don't know if he's got that burst of pace, but he's only little, and
I
you
thought-
look at him, and everyone who plays against him seems to
I
have trouble
thought
with him.
Mellor as well, but he's leaving once he's coming to Leeds. But he was good as well. And the Hikafifi, what the
No, Okumatai was good,
Sorry,
and
Okumatai.
Matani, those
Yeah,
two.
but
You see, you talk about big players. You want big players to play well.
But they don't,
Well,
do,
they
they
turned
don't
up.
do it every week.
No, they don't.
But they
But this
did this
week they
week.
turned up.
Yeah.
So the challenge now is right. We do it again in 2
Well,
weeks.
the
go
fact of the
again.
game, the next in 2 weeks' time, who do they play? They play
Leeds.
Leeds. So who's going to handle that sort of pressure? Eh? One's a good form, one's got plenty of confidence. One at this moment
And
in
that
time
should
is
be
looking.
Thursday night, yeah.
He's desperate.
Yeah,
He's
exactly.
desperate.
Get that on the Thursday night.
Desperate for a win, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember when everyone was having a go at Matt? Was it Matt Frawley? Matt Frawley, isn't it? At Huddersfield, he's not in the team now, and now they're good.
Do you know why he's not in the team? Because he's rubbish.
Well, there you go.
He has been. It's like the Wigan other side. Mark,
Is he-
you mentioned a couple of weeks
Is he
ago.
better than you?
You've
Is
said.
he better than you are at golf?
He?
Frawley.
No, that's how bad he is.
Well, Huddersfield were rubbish a few weeks ago. Now they're good.
Oh, they put in a performance when they needed one.
Yeah, they did it a couple of weeks ago against Salford, and then they say they turned it over.
But actually, interesting psychology from Simon Wolford. That whereas coaches like Tony Smith are playing down, every week.
Yeah, he played it down. It's not a grand final.
Wolford
It's a
went,
game.
no, it is a grand final.
It is, because what he's done there, Phil, as I said earlier, is put extra pressure on his players, and he wants to see how his players can react to this pressure. And I'll tell you what, he got a reaction from his players because they performed and they deserved to win. And the pressure was on Huskisson Rovers, and they did perform. And the big players.
Huddersfield turn up and play their game.
They beat Leeds. They beat Leeds in 2 weeks. Yeah,
I think they will win.
the way
Because
Leeds
I'm
play.
not sure Leeds have got a game plan. I just don't know what it is when I compare it to watching.
It's the senior players at Leeds who are just not doing it.
Leeds
They're
have
just not doing it. They're too inconsistent.
Rob
the
Louis,
senior
how did he
players.
go yesterday?
Well, he
Very
was,
odd, isn't
the,
it?
he was the only half-back, then he played one half-back.
Yeah, but Phil, why have Leeds only got one half back?
No, that's what they
Well,
chose
well,
to play. They played Cameron Smith,
Well,
didn't
we've
they?
got McLaren, haven't we?
Yeah, but I saw him play for Featherstone the week before against a big Toronto pack, and he isn't ready at the moment.
When is he going to be ready?
Well, he needs
he's
another.
28.
He needs another pre-season because he's physically not big enough yet. He will be going to rugby union. Was it Sam Burgess said it took him a year to get his physique back to play rugby league after he'd been to rugby union?
You're talking a different class here, Phil. Sam Burgess.
Right. So if it took Sam Burgess a year, it's going to take Callum McClelland a little bit of time to readjust to the fitness that you need to play.
Right,
rugby
okay,
league.
right, all right.
He didn't look big
Right,
enough
all right.
against
Yeah, all right.
Toronto.
Well, all right. Well. If I was in charge of McLaren, he would just have one job to do, right? And forget about the defence, because what did St Helens do with Sean Long? What did he want to do with Lee Breeze? Stuck him out there on the wing, so go get Eddie. Go get Eddie. You know, you don't need to defend. And so me, from my point of view, it's quite simple for McLaren, right? You're at first man, you get 10, 15 yards from the dummy half, so that releases Louis to get away because Rob Louis again was getting far too close to the ruck area at first man. So McLaren's two jobs are quite simple. You're at first man and you just pass it. You just pass it whether it's left side or right side. And then what you do when you pass it, you support. That is your objective. And at times, when it needs to be done to take a bit of pressure off Robert Louis' kicking game, because that was awful yesterday's kicking game, no variation, simple and boring, absolute garbage to be honest with you, kicking game from there. But the fact of the matter is, McLaren, you would just be the support player, you were the guy who just hands it on from there. What's wrong with that, Phil? Because he could do a lot better job than what Cameron. No disrespect to Cameron Smith.
Well,
He just can't do it.
Well,
Salford
Can't
fans
do it.
all over social media saying, thank you, Gary Henry. Thank you, Kevin Simfield. You deserve that pretend knighthood that the Leeds fans have given you because Tui Lolohea, he binned off by Leeds fame, cruelly cast asunder by Kev and friends. 8 out of 10 yesterday in the paper. We know the paper's never wrong with their numbers. You had a stormer apparently for Salford as they beat the Countdown Dragons with Matty Smith.
you know, have you noticed, right? Yeah, I'm going to make an observation here about Rich. Have you noticed, right? When we talk to each other. He's shouting to the camera.
Yeah, I watched Steve over 20 odd years. That's what he did. Just straight. People want it. You on?
Oh, you know, that's because I was
YouTube.
reading
Yeah,
the comments.
try
They
to get
don't
it working.
understand, do they? Yeah, they don't understand.
That's what Steve did for
Well, I
about
did look back.
30
It looked
years.
quite unsettling.
Steve just used to look like this straight down the camera.
Yeah,
Hair
I
all
just
the
think you
time.
forget where he is sometimes.
So you don't agree with that,
Talking
Phil,
to
with
my
McLaren
people.
just playing there and just being a support
You know,
player?
everything anyway.
Half back who just passes the ball and supports and coming in a
think
bit
the
variation with
the
the
one
kicking.
thing that you could cling on to as a Leeds fan was their comeback. To get in the lead at 24-20, having been 20 points to 6 down, to then drop the ball behind their own line for the
Senior
kickoff.
player. senior
It
player.
looked as though Handley's interception was a
Cost me a fortune.
potential
Git.
season turning moment.
Absolutely, great to watch. Great to watch.
But to then drop the kick off after Briscoe's second try.
Criminal. You know what?
And the one thing I did,
Well, we're talking about-
the crowd stayed behind Leeds throughout the entire game because I think
we've
they
had it.
appreciated the effort that
We've
they
had
were
it.
putting in and the way that.
But that Pettigrew dropping that ball, where were the communication?
Well, there were three of them, weren't there?
There were
And
three
it was a
of
great kick because it was right on
Nothing
the
over the
post.
kick, yeah, but still the
But the
communication.
three of them stood there going,
Oh,
"Is it yours?
Is it yours?
Mine?
Exactly. That shouldn't be happening, should it? You know, they practice kicker. They will practice kick-offs. How many practice kicks will they do? I'd say at least 50 every week. And boy, oh boy, no pressure. Straight in the breadbasket. Myler did it a couple of weeks before against OKR. It's unacceptable. But it's the senior players who are letting Leeds down at this moment in time. They need to get some consistency and say, hey, listen, fellas, when it's A boys A now, roll to sleep. Because what Hull did yesterday, they found a way to win. Leeds have to get the attitude now where they need to find
a way
to
of getting ahead. But couldn't
They
hold on to it.
they found a way to lose it.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that right? You know, so we need to find a way to win.
I think you got onto the your odds of the bookmakers. I've worked out. You know, next week when Toronto take Bradford on, or the week after rather, in Toronto at the famed Lamport Field.
Except
Excuse
it's
me.
odds.
Was it odds?
So,
You know who's going, don't you?
I know,
Corporate.
I've been invited, I can't go.
Oh well.
I can't go because I've got, again, I
Right.
can't
I
go.
was going to say they'd blame
Full
the
hospitality,
picture.
Bradford, Toronto, and I can't go.
You could sit there with
I've got Malasteel voting to,
Mr.
that
Mr.
weekend,
Chalmers
so I
on
can't.
one side, Sandy on the other.
Absolutely, big nights, giving me all the
It's not,
The
not
advice
quite
and
as-
experience.
not
No,
quite
you
as
might be
big
doing
now.
them a favour because they might need to sell that hospitality spot anyway.
They'll have to, what, to move it to
What
Bradford
we're trying to
Park
say
House?
is, what we're trying to say is, you're getting for freebies.
I mean,
I was saying they might need someone to pay
It's
for it.
a bit weird if Bradford and Bulls and Bradford Park County get back together, having been the cause of the great split. in
Bradford Park, it only owns about 2,000, doesn't it?
That's why it's a load of
It's an
crap.
absolute.
It's a
It's
sorry,
stressful in the world. It's
Yeah.
a dump.
it's
Yeah.
a dump in it,
It's a
yeah.
dump. Yeah.
Welcome
For
to
all the people coming in, it's got a little main stand. It's got an athletics track round
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
and the
yeah.
pitch is always waterlogged.
Yeah, it's like my back garden, isn't it? It's like, it's like the roof at Port Rush.
Martin O'Neill. One, not that one, I don't think.
All right.
So apologies for getting sacked at Forest. One good game and 2 years of God. Come back when he's playing that week in, week out. It's rugby league. One good game and you're the best thing since sliced bread. Thanks to all the people sending in praise. We don't retweet it because there's no point. The only people who see it are you. Women's Super
Well, who
League.
said something nice?
A lot of people be saying that kind of thing. Like Chris has done. Not about scoring big Nige and chips. Not that one.
Actually, the hospitality's only 2 courses probably, so you're best off doing your Manistee.
Women's Super League roundup.
By the way, I'm doing I've got hospitality.
Hold on. Do you mind? Can you be quiet when Richard's speaking, please?
I've got
This is what the listeners want. They're not bothered about us.
Because this is the only part of the programme where we ever have any news that people don't know.
Oh yeah,
So that comes
you
up,
your source.
Tonight's
yeah,
exclusive.
that comes up in a minute. I tell you, the RFL will be banning my email address soon. Women's Super League at Headingley. St Helens 30, Leeds 16.
Yep, reported
So-
on that game.
Leeds have lost.
Saints were great.
Revenge.
Did you stay and watch
Final
it?
three.
Oh, come and watch it.
Chantal Crack.
She's
Yeah.
great, isn't she?
Yeah.
Oh,
now
yes.
it was the curtain raiser, and I reckon that by the end it was probably the biggest crowd there's been for a domestic women's game. But Leeds are playing Castleford as a standalone game in I think a couple of weeks' time at Headingley, and they're hoping to break the record for a women's game in that. But Saints were great. Faye Gaskin organised. The kicking was superb. But Chantal Crowell absolutely.
She's an athlete, isn't she?
Oh, she's
Back row. She's
superb.
playing back row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was playing loose forward yesterday. She was brilliant.
I mean, I saw them when they beat Wakefield 66-0 and they were superb that day, and obviously were yesterday as well.
Yes.
Bradford 16, Wigan 20, big win for Wigan, and it also separates the top teams from everyone else in the Super League as well. And Cass 54, Wakefield 8, we're coming back now, we'll beat them next time. So that was good. Plus 64 the bookies, who knew? Didn't have a penny. Never mind. But yeah, I might understand, this is the breaking news part. Remember last week we told you the breaking news about Rhiannon Marshall's ban,
Oh yeah.
because she's been banned for 4 games. Well, they've appealed it, and the appeal's held tomorrow. So she's already served 3 games.
Are we going to go outside at all for an answer?
She's served,
Man, you'll get you. Someone will tell you.
She's
He'll
served-
know before the panel know. Rich.
She's
Oh,
served,
he'll know.
yeah, she served 3 games, so the 4th would be Saturday, unless the appeal is successful. then she can play.
Hold on, how can you appeal when you've already done 3 matches?
Because
To get 28 days, no,
because
is
it's
it 28 or
14, 14, because the women's game comes under the community rules, not the professional rules. Now, I would suggest that it should come under the professional rules, even though they don't get paid.
To be honest with you, if they play an ineligible player, they should have been kicked out.
Well, she scored again on Sunday, which is just rubbing salt into the wounds there, isn't it, Cass? What are they doing there at Frankie Townend?
But it should be a fantastic.
It should be a great final.
Final
Well,
on
we'll
Saturday.
do it on the things, won't we?
We'll be there.
Yeah, we will be. Looking forward to it. I think that was all a bit. Oh, Ray French is retiring. He's calling me the paper. He's not doing it
He's
anymore.
not even doing the column in the
Well, I like the bits about rattles and stuff. White dog poo on the pitch, that kind of thing. One for the teenagers.
That's probably because Sandy met him at.
Yeah.
At Whitby.
Does that
Whitby
finish him
game.
off?
Yeah, I think she hugged him, and he went, "That's it. Can't get any better than this."
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Sandy, I'll say just about Sandy as well. I had a good couple of hours with her. Boy, oh boy. My right.
Listen to this show.
I know she does Sunday, I know. I've texted her and thanked her for the time and respect and the great communication. And
She knows who you are now as well, which
putting the world to right, but I tell you what, fellas, my right lug oil
you know, people,
was burning for 2 days after. It was like a cauliflower lug oil. But I tell you what, she does with rugby league. She loves the rugby league, and you know the enthusiasm and purpose she's got is sensational. Sensational, yeah. And keep it up.
And she's
keep
a
it up.
new fan. She's only.
New fan.
She's only been
she
involved
wa-
in the
no,
sport.
drive them away. Drive.
And she wants to bring new people to the game as well because she's so enthusiastic about
So
it. Sensational.
I mean, I know we're talking about the same thing over, but she takes people to witness to show them
Yeah,
the Toronto
exactly.
team.
She reckons
because
there's going to be 100 people
Mm.
at Bradford. She's
Yeah.
got 100,
Yeah.
100 Canadians.
She's
as
got-
well.
working really hard.
Exactly,
Yeah.
yeah. yeah.
And what happens if those Canadians who turn up get booed?
Get abused.
They won't.
For
No,
them.
no,
they will at
but
Bradford.
you just.
England beat France 2-0 in the Test series at under
They
16 level. 36-12, 24-16. Two of the hotbeds of international rugby league, Craven Park and the Mobile Rocket. So that was good. I should have gone on Saturday, but I fell asleep. But they won, so that's good news.
Also as well, fellas, can I just say, no, I know certainly Mr Wilson and Mr Kaplan ripped into me last week regarding the Blair Costa situation, but I've spoken to many Great Britain players over the last week, and not one of them agree with the situation where we should be playing an Australian for our national side, so we'll leave it at that.
You got plenty of support on social media during the show and afterwards because we put the clip out. Plenty of people on your side. I'll tell you what would be hilarious trolling from the RFL because they're releasing the kit tomorrow, I think. Or they're doing a video about the tour. If they had Blake Costin in the kit, that'd be. Come on!
He's in the kit in the League Express.
They must-
He's in the kit, honestly. Eh?
Oh,
So that's coming up. That's
So will you be announced as a tour leader tomorrow?
No,
You're not going?
not as yet, mate. Not as yet, unless there's plenty of numbers going for the glory days. At the moment in time, now, they sat me backside on the sofa watching it 12,000 miles away.
Well, what you say watching it? We haven't had any broadcast details yet.
We
We're
don't.
putting a bid. Well, as long as they don't tell the championship chairman, we might be all right. The World Nines have been drawn as well, but I've not got it up on screen.
Yeah.
So I can't see. I think England are playing
England,
France and
Wales,
Lebanon.
France, and Lebanon in their group.
We're not playing any.
There's a
South
Pacific group. They're all playing.
Is it?
each
Oh,
other.
they've done it deliberately.
Australia and New Zealand are in the same group. 2 from Group A.
So
and 1
Europe,
from
it
each
says
of the
Europe and the Middle East through.
Yeah, so it makes
Sydney.
sure that one of those teams are in the semi-final. And 4 women's teams.
And there's a 20-40 rule to debut at the Downer World Cup Nines in
Yes.
Sydney in October.
Downer seems appropriate.
Yeah, great sponsor. Love all their work. Love
And there's
all
the
Downer
bonus try
products.
as well.
The what?
The bonus zone. So if you score between the posts, you get 5 points for your try.
Why?
Because it's nines, and you've got to have different rules when you play nines.
Yeah.
It's like power plays in cricket, isn't it?
Super
Or whatever
overs.
it's called. Super overs.
Everyone's doing that now.
And
Todd Greenwood.
golden try, not golden point.
No. Well, that's good. Well, Golden Try will do. So it will be rebooted with key rules, including the first round of the 2040 kick to be introduced at the World Nines in October.
Which,
October 18th
which
and
if it works, the NRL will adopt.
Will you have to change the name of the magazine?
No, there's still a 40-20.
I'm in both.
Yeah.
It's a bit confusing now. You should do one issue.
We
where
could
it's
change
called
it to
2040.
chip over the top, though. Or
That's the
vision and
April-
awareness.
The April issue next year, 2040.
vision and awareness.
So it's Group A.
Or
is-
consistency from Rhino's blood.
I mean, look at this. Look at this Group A. Australia, New Zealand, PNG, USA. Oh, what songs.
They won the Nines at Rugby Union, didn't
Did
they?
they?
I think so.
Tonga,
Oh,
Cook
yeah.
Islands, Fiji, Samoa, and then the women's. I thought, why is Australia in twice? There's 3 groups: Australia, New Zealand, England, and Papua New Guinea. The women's. I tell you what, you know they were learning from the Netball World Cup, which again had a convoluted format, which was brilliant to mask the fact that there's about 3 decent teams and everyone else is making up the numbers. But again, England lost to New Zealand in the semi-finals, and then Australia lost to New Zealand in the final. New Zealand, the world champions of netball. All these articles today saying it'll make up for the pain of losing the Cricket World Cup. They're not bothered. They're not bothered, are they? But we nearly won.
Oh well.
Netball's not coming on.
No.
But it's coming to Leeds.
Never mind.
As
Well,
indeed is
right,
ice hockey, but that's another story.
Yeah. Well,
It is. We need to do our predictions shortly.
This will be quick.
Is there any other business that we need to take care of?
No, we're doing the 1895 Cup as well.
Yeah, we
just
are.
to pad it out.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we
Are we doing Rochdale and Dewsbury, which for some reason is on at the same time? as the
Ulster and White.
1995 Cup?
Dewsbury by 50.
We're doing the Women's Challenge Shield.
Rochdale are the worst team.
Get down.
In fact, now West Wales have won. Right, they're the top. They're the worst team in professional rugby. At the minute.
Big game for Dewsbury though, because if they win, they go above Widnes and Batley.
If you're doing nothing on Friday, which I think I am now, get to the Menderhose Jungle because there is silverware. The York City Knights women are taking on the Army. That'll be a battle. 7:30. The challenge. Remember last year we did the challenge show live on the BBC. It was a great success. Team sheets written in pen. Couldn't read them. Great fun.
But that was a curtain raiser.
Yeah. Now it's a standalone event.
By the way, we should just pay. Sorry, I'm jumping.
That's
over
okay,
there.
that's okay.
We should pay tribute to Salford. We haven't mentioned them, and I know
Well,
a lot of
other than
listeners-
two, we mentioned how
Yeah,
big
but no, but what a win for them. Keeps their
Yeah.
top 5 ambitions firmly in the mix, and they've got a better points difference than the 3 above them. They are right in the mix, Salford. Well played to them.
Well,
What Ian Watson should just do is say, right lads, the
Yeah.
team we're playing this week, they've won the last 100 games, they're brilliant, they're top of Super League, and they'll win.
Yeah.
Anyone below them, rubbish.
Well,
They
the-
play London next.
they proved it all season, Salford. They can mix it with the best, can't they? They can beat
Yeah.
the best, but then also as well,
They
they can
took
play.
a wobble,
Yeah,
innit?
yeah, exactly, they can play garbage and get beat where you don't expect them to get beat. So, but no, great response.
But a good win,
again,
a big
oh,
win.
good
Because I
win.
think other than had they lost,
win.
I think they become the only side with pretty much nothing left to
Yeah.
play for.
Yeah, good win. And, you know, they played very well, but at the end of the day, Catalan's played Matty Smith, so there you go.
2 things. Jason says Salford will do a Salford and lose next week. Now we're all backing them. And Toby, I think I'm worried about Toby.
What's it called?
He's a Warrington fan. Winning on Saturday papers over the cracks.
They better not
Warrington
win.
are rubbish
They
now.
better not win. I'm on
Warrington
all.
crisis.
They won't win. They won't win.
I'm on all.
Yeah.
Stop Blake Austin, you stop Warrington. There you go.
Great Britain's Blake Austin.
I think Hull. Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it now. Then. Let's
Well, do the 1895 first.
We'll
and
start
we'll
off
build
on
up to the-
Sunday with the 1895 Cup. We'll start off with Lee. They're taking on Widnes. This is game number 2.
This is before they sign a load of players this week that we don't know.
So them players with the sign as well. Can they play in this game? Connie? Or the big cup
Well,
sign?
I would imagine they're cup
I'm
side,
pick,
but-
well, Junior Soutwater played in the 1895 Cup.
No,
let's be fair.
right. So
No, but have they missed the registration?
Are there any rules? Seriously?
anyway, but yeah, it's well certainly
What are you laughing at?
the squad what Lee have got, and Derek Bowman has said, you know, I want to take Lee to Wembley. I want to day out at Wembley from there, and certainly with the signings what they've made. With this a bit of a derby, isn't it, to be honest with you, but I just feel as though Lee, I'll have too much quality for Widnes, and I'm going for the Leafers to win, and I'm going for Lee to win by 14.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with Widnes yesterday. Thought a lot of their young kids really stepped up. But I guess that was a game probably that they didn't want before a semi-final, because I would imagine physically it took a lot out of
Well,
them.
he made 6 changes. I reckon a lot of them will be back this
for a
week.
semi, yeah. I just think there's something about the role that Lee are on at the moment. They've set themselves the goal, I think, to get to Wembley. I think that will be a signal of their regeneration. The likelihood is they're going to be in the playoffs, and I think whatever position they finish in, they'll be a threat because of the recruitment they've done. That's for another day. I think they will get to Wembley. I can't see Widnes having enough firepower to trouble.
Are you sticking by your rules last week where you're tipping against whatever we say?
No, not this
No,
week.
so
I'm going
not
for
the
Lee. Oh no, we said we were changing the order, so you can go last. So
Oh, yeah.
I'll go for. I'm going for Lee. You mentioned they're on a great roll. There'll be a huge incentive for them. You know, Derek Beaumont put a lot of money in. They want to lead his side out. Widnes were great against Toronto, but this is a hungry Lee at the minute. They're on a charge. They're looking. You know, they're getting they're 5 points clear of Bradford with 5 games left. They think they're going to get in the playoffs. They could give it a real shake, Lee. We'll see, but I think Lee will win. I think Lee will win quite heavily. Nothing against Widnes youngsters, and they'll bring some players back. They'll give it a crack, but last 2 away games got thumped at Halifax, thumped at Bradford. I think they'll get thumped again. So I'll go for Lee by 24.
I'm not saying this because then I only have to download one club badge and stick it on the screen instead of 2. But I'm going for Lee as well because they're in better form. Winners have got, I can't say they've got bigger fish to fry, I think, because they should still be good enough to stay above the relegation zone. They've got that lead as it is already. Oh, by the way, you remember I said I'd broken the spreadsheet? Our friend who put together the thing in the first place, Peter, I think it is, I'm trying to find it now, has gone through the whole of the season and actually updated it.
All right.
And the amazing thing.
Oh.
Oh, it's David. Sorry, David.
This is
David Harris.
Go on then.
No, Scotty's top.
Oh, why did you? Why
He
did you
hasn't.
just
He
say it?
clearly hasn't.
Can you not just repeat that?
He clearly hasn't updated it
The,
properly.
the
Hold
podcast
on,
the
hold on,
podcast
hold
didn't
on.
record that. Just repeat that, Mr. Shawright,
Yeah,
please.
you are top of the prediction. Is that the Russians?
That's why that's why I'm the legend. That's why I'm the legend. There's
Iran.
still plenty more.
You'll make it sooner rather than later.
Where's the Iran I can build a rugby league?
Richie, just say that once more again. Who's top of the league?
You are. So Martha not
Don't peak too early.
Say, yeah. Still plenty of games to go.
It is quite tight on the tipping comp,
Yeah.
isn't it, between you two? I'm lagging behind a little bit.
Oh,
Only nothing the correct score won't sort
I'm
out.
going to say my tipping percentage this year is dreadful. I think
Well,
I'm over
you go
50%.
that philosophy we all pick with your good.
Anyway, right, move
Yeah,
on.
lead by
Sheffield,
by 20.
Sheffield against Batley.
Yeah, Sheffield. Listen to Mark Aston. They keep saying that they've both been at Wembley Park. Sheffield's great victory, back in '98 from there, and they're making sure that players know what Wembley's all about, and you may only get one opportunity to play there from there. So they're making sure that the players know exactly what this means about playing at Wembley. But tell you what, I was interested with the comments what Matt Diskin said about Sheffield the other week when Sheffield beat them quite convincingly. He said, well, do you know what? They're not that good a side, they should not have beaten us by this point. So I think they might be a little bit quietly confident Batley to beat Sheffield from there. The pressure is on Sheffield because they are desperate again to repeat what they did in '98. It's nowhere near the same comparison, but they want to get to Wembley from there. And can the Sheffield players handle that sort of pressure? I think they'll go there a lot more relaxed Batley from there. I think there could be a bit of surprise from here. I don't think there'll be too many in it. I'm going for Batley to turn Sheffield over by 7.
I think Sheffield's hopes of being in the top 5 have all but gone. I know it's only 4 points and there's still enough games for them to rectify that, but I just don't think they're playing well enough at the moment on a consistent basis. I think that Wembley is what's left for Sheffield this year. Batley have been too inconsistent. I think Matt struggled to get a tune out of them this year. They are still only 4 points off the relegation now, but they just can't seem to put a string of results together. I think it will be Sheffield's day in the sun. I think they will inculcate that '98 spirit. I think this is what Mark Aston is best at, motivating a team in the John Keir mould for how to get up in a cup competition. So, other than I agree with you, it will be close. I think I'll just go Sheffield.
I'm going to go Sheffield. Batley went to York, didn't they? Did they win away at York last time?
Yeah.
So I mean that's a great, they've gone away and won. But I just look at Batley when they go on the travels and they're not very convincing at the minute. I think they've underperformed this season by their own standards. I think they've had a disappointing year, and I think Sheffield on the day can put some points. I get what you're saying about pressure and it's a semi-final, anything can happen. And would I be surprised if Batley won? No, I wouldn't. But I'm going to go for Sheffield.
Yeah, even though I used to work in Batley, I'm going to take Sheffield, home advantage for them. And Batley, I know I said Widnes shouldn't get dragged into it, but the difference between Widnes and Batley is Widnes have won 12 games of 22, Batley have won 6 of 22 in the division, even though they're a point above Widnes. So Sheffield by 18, and it'd be good to see them back at Wembley, celebrating 21 years since they were there in the most famous final in
I was
donkey's
there.
years.
Great. Right, that it done. Okay, right. Hull against Warrington, 2 o'clock kickoff at the Uniball on.
Is that what it's known as? Is that what they call
Yeah.
it?
Why is the Women's Cup final not on there?
Because the
Fixtures.
League Weekly are sexist.
Well, this is League Express.
League Express are sexist. League Weekly are not. They've got it in their list.
Oh, yeah, well, you just...
We weekly of other things, legal experts.
We'll do the women's.
Yet, well, the black and white certainly they love the Challenge Cup, don't they? We know what's happened over the last 2 years out of 3 from there, 1-2, and I said let it go from there. So they know it's up. They love the Challenge Cup, and I think the whole forwards will absolutely batter Warrington forwards. To be honest with you, I don't think Blake Austin will have any sort of foundation to work on from there. Hull know themselves what Austin did to them early in the season, so they won't be taking any dummies. You stop Blake Austin, you stop Warrington. So there's 2 points there for Hull. The forwards will batter Warrington forwards. Blake Austin won't have any impact. And then the goal kicking, the kicking game. If Albert Kelly plays as well, that Maverick from there, Hull for me are just a quality side, certainly the Challenge Cup. And I think Hull are going to batter Warrington. I'm going.
Why did they batter Leeds?
I'm going the black and whites by 14.
Warrington are a bit of a hole at the moment. Is it 4 out of the last 6 they've lost? It's
second.
I know it's the wrong time of the season to be out of form, I think. And the important thing you said about Hull's performance on Sunday, when they could have had one eye on the semi-final and in previous rounds of the Cup have had one eye on the Cup run, they found a way to win. So I think that whatever Warrington throw at them on Saturday, Hull will have an answer for. Thought their bench was brilliant yesterday. That everybody they brought on made a contribution.
How good is he, Fash?
Brad Fash was superb when he came on. But Jordan Lane was good, and he may not even make it this week with Kelly being fit. There's something about the way Hull played that they know this prize that's on offer next week, and they've been building up to it. Wembley's almost their second home now at the moment. I can't see Warrington having enough firepower on the way they're playing. They really are missing Stephen Ratchford.
They are.
And with the great respect to Jake Mamo, he isn't a significant replacement at fullback. He might be good on the wing, but it just seems that he's
a lot of money for a winger.
Exposed a bit at fullback, I think. I'm not even sure Steve Price knows what his best team is at the moment. I'm certain that Lee Radford knows what his best team is. So I'm going to go Hull. I think Hull by 8.
Yeah, Warrington, someone put 63 on Hull earlier in the season. Hull went to Warrington and won against all the odds. I just think Hull are a big game team. I think they'll win. I had no doubt they'd win last week at Leeds. Absolutely no doubt. I think when this team decides they're going to turn up, they win. It's as simple as that. I think Hull will win. I think Hull will win quite easily. I think they're... the one where I had, and I mentioned this earlier in the season about Warrington, I don't think the pack is strong enough in the big games that they can get taken on. Look, Blake Austin could have a wild game, Warrington could win easily. I'm just not sure that's happening at the minute, and I think the pressure's starting to build. I think some of the comments Steve's coming out with are a team that know they need to start winning. I think it'll have to wait another week. I think Hull will win. I'm going to go Hull by 16.
I should go Hull, but I'm going to go for Warrington. Hull just have this tendency sometimes to throw in a stinker, and they haven't done for a while, have they? Even though Warrington are no good at the minute. I think every argument in my head says to pick Hull, but I'm going to go with Warrington anyway. And it's going to be decided in extra time. Is it proper extra time or golden point?
Golden.
And they will win by 4 points.
Okay, good. Right, last but not least, Halifax against St Helens.
They've got the Women's Cup final.
Well, if Halifax pull this off, and we know what happened when Featherstone beat Hull back in 1983, we know what happened when Sheffield beat Wigan in 1988. If Halifax beat St Helens this weekend, this will be the biggest upset in Rugby League history because of the circumstances, the full-time professionalism, the quality of what St Helens have got, from full-back to centres to wingers to half-backs, the mobility of the forwards, the size of the forwards, and the quality of what they got. No disrespect to Halifax, they're going to have their moment in the sun, and Grixie's been saying, we're not going there to make the numbers up, we're going to make sure, yes, we know what quality they've got, they're far more better skilled than what we have, but I want us to make sure we turn it with the right attitude and making sure we give a good account of ourselves. That's great, but that we're only getting so far. Can they turn the upset? No, not a chance. Not a chance. Too much quality, too much skill, too much pace, too much size. And this will be quite easy for St Helens. No disrespect to Halifax, but the players, quite simply, are nowhere near a patch of what St Helens are. this will be St Helens, and it'll be St Helens around about the 64 mark.
I think the other thing that they've got is desire, which comes from how they let themselves down at this very stadium a year ago when they were overwhelming favourites to beat a Castellan team who within the first half an hour had played them off the park. If Halifax can still be in it at half time, that'll be an achievement. There's a doubt about Scott Morrell, but he will play. There's a doubt about Lachlan Coote, he might not play. I still don't see that being the difference between the two teams. I just hope loads of Halifax fans turn up. I hope the weather's good for them. I hope they have
Why
something.
have we heard nothing about ticket
Yeah.
sales?
I hope they have something to sing and shout about, and Saints will win by 40.
Saints by 48. Don't
Yeah.
even-
I'll go 62.
John's gone 72. Toby's got Halifax by 6, but he's Warrington. He's biased, he don't like Saints.
Right, Women's Cup final then. You can go first as our expert.
Oh,
Cass Leeds.
It's Castleford, isn't it? They're the best team in the competition at the moment. I've seen them. And they beat Leeds. They nilled Leeds at the Jungle earlier in the season. Leeds have had to adapt to play without Lois Russell. We were at the final last year. She scored the try that won them the cup. It was like it was written in the stars.
Yeah,
Which
yeah.
I believe some
Yeah.
people would probably believe it was. And when they didn't have her for the grand final against Wigan, and that's to take nothing away from Wigan, they didn't have a plan to play without her, I don't think, or one that worked. But they've adapted to that since. Courtney Hill's a very good captain, very good goal kicker. That could be crucial. On Saturday morning, 11:15, daft kick-off time, because people will be travelling and won't be there, which is not disrespectful. Well, it's disrespectful. It's not the fault of the people who are travelling. Leeds are good, but Castleford are better. Leeds have that big game experience though, and they won last year. They managed to
Come on, I want to go home.
cast by 8. I think it'll be closer than the bookmakers think.
What start we getting? 16?
That's what you said.
I'm a Leeds man, so I'm going Leeds by 10. Simple as.
I think you're right about Lois, but on the flip side of that, Danica Prim's now back, and she made a big difference off the bench, even in defeat against St Helens this weekend. It is going to be about big game temperament, and Cass will go in as overwhelming favourites because of the way they played this year. But they've not been in that situation before.
Saints were overwhelming favourites for the semi-final, and they didn't win.
They will want revenge for last year because they played extremely well. It was one of the best women's games I've seen, and there literally was nothing between the teams until Lois's try a couple of minutes from time, which she fashioned out of nowhere. I think it could be as close this time. I've not seen enough of Castleford play. I've seen a fair bit of the Leeds games. I'll go with form Cass narrowly, but I think it could turn out to be the best game of the day.
I think there'll be at least one card in the game as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's.
I
Look,
think
I
at
think it's going
least
to be a
one, at
belter,
least
and you know what this strikes me of? It's like the when the two met in the men's grand final. Cass have got all the skill, all the players, all the form,
No, they are more.
and Leeds have been there and done it before, and you just it's big game mentality, and we're the best one in the world. So I'm putting 100 on Wakefield. Leeds went to Saints and won. I know
When
they got beat by them yesterday. Yesterday, in the grand scheme of things, didn't matter half as much. I've got a sneaky feeling that Leeds might win.
They always do.
No, yeah, but I just big game mentality. Cass, can they finally make the breakthrough?
It would be massive for the town.
I think it'd be good for the game if we had a new winner in Castleford. So I'm going to go for Cass. I'm going to go Cass by 10.
What I will say is, if you've never seen a women's game,
Watch it.
make it this one.
Yeah.
There's some stars on display on both sides. Georgia Roach is the current woman of steel playing for Cass. She's been brilliant. If Rhiannon Marshall is successful in her appeal, she's an ex-Leeds player. There's another level there. if you can get there for 11:15, please go.
You know,
You will not be disappointed.
everything they say about women's football is they always take about, oh, it's more skillful because it's less physical. This will be a extremely physical game of rugby league, and it will be, I think it will be the best game of the day because I think it has that rivalry about it.
Does it? It does.
I can't wait
It's talking it up. We will be doing. Keep, but you know, 40-20 later in the week, we'll have some stuff for you on that one. We're looking forward to it. Good luck. May the best team win. That's how it is, isn't it? Right. Thanks to Gary, whose punditry is magnificently better than his golf. We'll leave it at that. Thanks to Phil. Has nice biscuits as well from Phil. He's excelled himself today.
It's because it was left to me.
Well done to Richard Shawright for antagonising the public. And well done to you for listening. Retweet, share, subscribe. Want some reviews on our podcast as well. We'll see you next week.
Right, guys, I've got to shoot. My mum's had a bit of a
All right, mate.
sit back at.